Hello everyone.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hey
Hello, sir.
Kunal.
Hi guys, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, guys, can you hear me? Okay, great.
Yes.
Can you see my screen as well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. All right. Chalo. So guys, what we did in last session, is it clear to everyone? Everyone is clear with the cryptography? Last session में हमने cryptography किया था, right?
Yes, sir.
Clear है cryptography सबको? Everyone is clear with the cryptography?
Yes,
Any
sir.
questions from the last session you guys have? Did you guys try steganography thing? Steganography and mail envelope?
Sir, I have tried it. I have also tried it using simple like hiding the text, like let's say right clicking on the image and like let's say open it into a text format, and when we are going to hide that text will be at the end of that text.
हाँ, वो दिखेगा एंड में दिखेगा टेक्स्ट उसके.
हाँ.
अभी तो मैंने बोला था इमेज फाइल यूज करते हैं हम इसलिए.
हाँ.
This is the main reason why we use image file instead of text file. So guys, the question was that he tried with the text file also, like both the text file he tried to add in steganography. So the issue with the text file, both the text file, if you'll add no, and if you're opening the result final output file, when you'll open it, you will be able to see the hidden file also in that text file, right? So that is why we are using the image file, so that your text is hidden behind the image. Okay, तो image के पीछे आपका text छुप जाएगा, तो that's what we actually required, right? Anything else you guys tried? Mail envelope was clear to you? You were able to perform it?
Yes. Yes.
Anyone who was not able to perform it, I can help you out right now. All clear with cryptography then?
सर एक बार मेल वेल समझा दो प्लीज.
मेल वेल समझा दे. ओके, चलो एक बार मेल वेल, लेट्स डिस्कस मेल वेल वंस अगेन. एक बार मेल वेल डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. ओके, फिर हम मूव फॉरवर्ड करते हैं, देन विल मूव इट फॉरवर्ड. See what was in mail envelope. In mail envelope, what we were trying to do, we were trying to understand. Acha guys, one thing we will do. First, I'll tell you in English, okay? Because there are people those who wants the session in Hindi also. So first, I'll tell you in English, then I'll tell you in Hindi. All right. So in case you're not understanding anything in English, okay, let me know. I'll explain in Hindi. I'll try my best to use both the languages. All right. मैं पहले इंग्लिश में समझाऊंगा, फिर मैं हिंदी में समझाऊंगा. अगर आपको इंग्लिश में नहीं समझ आ रहा, आप मेरे को बोल देना. मेरे को लगेगा टाइम है तो मैं उसको हिंदी में भी एक्सप्लेन कर दूंगा, मेरे को कोई इशू नहीं है. ठीक. तो अगर आपको ऐसे लग रहा होगा कि हिंदी इंग्लिश में ही चल रहा है पूरा का पूरा, हिंदी आ ही नहीं रहा, तो मेरे को बता देना, मैं हिंदी पे स्विच कर दूंगा. बट दोनों लैंग्वेज में पूरा टॉपिक मिलेगा. ऑलराइट. तो मेल envelope की बात करते हैं अगर. सो व्हाट वाज द मेन पर्पस ऑफ मेल envelope? एनीवन? What was
Encrypt the mail.
क्या था?
To encrypt the mail.
To encrypt the message, right?
To send the encryption communication.
Encryption and decryption using public key and private key. तो हम मेल envelope में ना देखो हम कर क्या रहे हैं. मेल envelope में हम ये अंडरस्टैंड कर रहे हैं कि पब्लिक की और प्राइवेट की, पब्लिक की एंड प्राइवेट की काम कैसे करती है. ओके, अगर हम जीमेल की बात करें, हम व्हाट्सएप की बात करें, हम किसी भी पर्टिकुलर एप्लीकेशन की बात करें, ओके, हम मेल envelope के थ्रू हम ये सीख रहे हैं कि पब्लिक की और प्राइवेट की काम कैसे करती है. हम जब भी हम ऐसी चीजें इंप्लीमेंट करते हैं ना, वो बाय डिफॉल्ट इंप्लीमेंट करते हैं. हम कोई भी इंसान मेल envelope डाउनलोड करके उसको यूज नहीं करता. मेल envelope एक एप्लीकेशन हमने बनाई है सो दैट वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड हाउ एक्चुअली एनक्रिप्शन एंड डिक्रिप्शन इज वर्किंग. दैट इज व्हाई वी केम अप विद द मेल envelope. ओके, तो आपको कहीं यूज नहीं करना मेल envelope, आपको सिर्फ अंडरस्टैंड करने की काम कैसे करना है, राइट? अब करना क्या है, मेल वेलप का ऑप्शन खोला हमने, विल ओपन द मेल वेलप एंड देन वी विल गो टू द मैनेज कीज. We'll go to the manage keys. We have already have generated some keys, so we'll delete these keys and we are going to create a new key. How? Just click on generate key. Over here, you just give the name of the key. What is the name of the key you want to keep? Key का नाम क्या रखना है? यहाँ पे key का नाम रख दो test email. तो जिस email ID के लिए बना रहे हैं, so let's say for kpawa1990@gmail.com. So I told you guys that now you make two Gmail IDs which you are using only for registration purpose on different websites. Okay, so you don't use your original Gmail ID, you use your these kind of Gmail IDs which you have. Try to make two Gmail IDs and try to register yourself using these Gmail IDs. All right, so likewise I am using one kpawa. I have few more, 2-3 more I have. Then go to advanced and select the algorithm. Select the algorithm which is little bit nice algorithm. You will be basically, now when you will research over cryptography on the internet, you will find so many algorithms. Okay, look for the algorithm and then choose the highest key size. Why you need to choose the highest key size? So that brute force attack should not be happen. So if you will choose the highest key size, brute force attack will not be happen. Give the password, whatever password you feel like, little bit strong password and generate the key. ठीक है, अभी देखो हमने क्या किया इसमें. हमने किया नाम दिया, जो भी की का नाम देना था, ईमेल एड्रेस दिया, जो भी जिस ईमेल के लिए हमें बनाना है, राइट. एडवांस में गए, हमने एल्गोरिथम सेलेक्ट की, RSA की साइज किया जो हाईएस्ट की साइज है. हाईएस्ट की साइज क्यों किया? क्योंकि अगर कोई व्यक्ति इस पे ब्रूट फोर्स अटैक करता है तो वो ब्रूट फोर्स अटैक नहीं कर पाएगा. ओके, और फिर हमने जनरेट पे और पासवर्ड दिया और जनरेट पे क्लिक किया तो हमारी जो की है वो जनरेट हो गई. द की हैज बीन जनरेटेड नाउ, राइट. इफ वी क्लिक ऑन इट वी कैन सी द डिटेल्स ऑफ आर की. यहाँ पे डिटेल्स दिख रही है हमें की, राइट. अगर हमें की का डेटा देखना है, पब्लिक की और प्राइवेट की, इफ यू वांट टू सी पब्लिक की एंड प्राइवेट की, क्लिक ऑन एक्सपोर्ट. एक्सपोर्ट पे क्लिक करेंगे, यहाँ पे देखो पब्लिक की है और ये प्राइवेट की है. अब पब्लिक की किस लिए होती है? व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ पब्लिक की?
जैसे हमें कोई भी इंक्रिप्शन मैसेज सेंड कर सके.
एग्जैक्टली. तो पब्लिक की किस लिए होती है? एनक्रिप्ट करने के लिए. एंड प्राइवेट की किस लिए होती है?
किसी का भी डिक्रिप्ट करने के लिए. जो मैसेज हमें आएगा हम उसको डिक्रिप्ट करके देख सके.
एग्जैक्टली. तो मैसेज एनक्रिप्ट कैसे होके आएगा? पब्लिक की से. तो इसी पब्लिक की से अगर मैसेज एनक्रिप्ट होके आएगा ना, तभी इस प्राइवेट की से हम उसको डिक्रिप्ट कर सकते हैं. अगर ये मैसेज, कोई भी मैसेज है वो किसी और की पब्लिक की से अगर एनक्रिप्ट होके आएगा ना, तो आप उसको डिक्रिप्ट नहीं कर पाओगे. आई होप यू गाइज आर अवेयर ऑफ दिस थिंग. अब प्राइवेट की जो है वो बाय डिफॉल्ट आपके सिस्टम में स्टोर है, तो आपको कुछ नहीं करना. आपको पब्लिक की को क्या करना है? आपको सेंड करना है पब्लिक की को, राइट. तो इसको करो कॉपी. पब्लिक की कॉपी हो गई. सेव पे क्लोज कर दो, सेव नहीं करने की जरूरत है. ओके, अब खोले अपना जीमेल अकाउंट. तो जीमेल वो वाला खोलना है जिसके लिए आपने पब्लिक की जनरेट की है. तो kpawa, this is the account we have generated public key for. See, we got the email also that we have generated the public key. Now compose it. Now we are going to send this public key to another account so that another account can use our public key and send us encryption message. ये बात समझ आई? हम जो पब्लिक की है ना हमारी, ये पब्लिक की जो हमने जनरेट किया है, ये हम किसी और को भेज रहे हैं. क्यों भेज रहे हैं? सो दैट वो जो बंदा है ना जिसको हम भेज रहे हैं, वो हमें जो मैसेज है एनक्रिप्ट करके भेज सके. उस बंदे के पास भी आपका मेल वेलप होना चाहिए. अगर उसके पास आपका मेल वेलप नहीं है तो वो काम नहीं करेगा. तो ये बेसिकली प्रोसेस नहीं हो पाएगा. See, we got a message from this account that this is our public key, right now at 2:45. So let's open this one. So we have the public key now. अभी जैसे ही इसके पास public key है ना, mail वेलअप खुद ही आ जाएगा कि बॉस कुछ तो आया है मेरे से related. Right now, as soon as it has received the public key, mail वेलअप will pop up by default and thinking that this particular data is related to me. Right. As soon as you are going to click on mail वेलअप option, जैसे ही आप mail वेलअप option पे click करोगे, जो public key है ना, वो by default save हो जाएगी आपकी. The public key will be by default, it will save into your account. So if I'll send you this public key, you will be also able to save this one. Okay. If you want to try this one, I can share the public key with you guys. I'm not created for this one. Copy that. Close it. Here is the public key. If you want to save it, you can save it. And if you want to send any message onto this account, you can send the encrypted message onto this account. Okay, encrypted message I'm talking about. अभी मैंने आपको पब्लिक की भेजी है, आपको अगर कोई एनक्रिप्ट मैसेज भेजना है ना, तो आप इस अकाउंट पे एनक्रिप्टेड मैसेज भेज सकते हो अगर आपके पास मेल वेलअप है तो. ऑलराइट, अब देखो मैंने इसमें पब्लिक की सेव कर दी. अब मेरे को इस अकाउंट को अगर कोई मैसेज भेजना है एनक्रिप्टेड, तो आई कैन गो टू मेल वेलअप. अब लेट्स से मेरे पास 5 पब्लिक कीज है. Let's say I have 5 public keys. Okay, so I can send message to all the 5 people all together. But when the message will be going to them, no, it will be encrypted in different format and it will reach to them in different format. Okay, so if I let's say write a message to kpawa1990@gmail.com, I'll write the message, hi, it's a encryption class and encrypted. Now see, with a very small message that hi, it's an encryption class, this is what the encrypted message looks like. Right, no one will understand. Send it, kpawa will receive the message and he will be able to look for the message. This is what your mail velope will help you out to perform. Now see, if I'll open my message, show message, it will ask for the password, enter the password. Why it is asking for the password? So that another person who wants to look for the data will not be able to look for the data. ये दो चीजों से आपको बचा रहा है. किस चीज से? एक तो जब आपका मैसेज ट्रांसफर हो रहा है एक अनप्रोटेक्टेड नेटवर्क के अंदर, ओके, सो दैट बीच में हैकर आपका डेटा ना रीड कर पाए. अगर मेरे लैपटॉप से आपके लैपटॉप तक मैसेज जा रहा है तो बीच में हैकर उस मैसेज को रीड ना कर पाए. इसको बोलते हैं मैन इन द मिडल अटैक. बीच में मैन इन द मिडल अटैक ना हो, इसलिए हम एक मेल वेलअप यूज करते हैं. दूसरा, जब वो आपके सिस्टम पे पहुंच गया तो अब उस मैसेज को कोई और रीड कर लेगा तो फायदा क्या हुआ? वायर के थ्रू तो इंक्रिप्शन हो गई, यहाँ पहुंचते ही कोई दूसरा रीड कर रहा है, इसलिए उसने वहां पे पासवर्ड भी दे दिया कि हाँ पासवर्ड डालो और फिर देखो. राइट, दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स बेसिकली. क्लियर? सॉरी, आई वाज entering onto the wrong mail. This is the password. This is the mail actually. What happened? Okay, it's an encryption class. This way we can perform encryption. This way you can go for the encryption. अभी समझ आया?
Yes sir.
पक्का clear everything encryption को लेके?
Yes sir.
कोई
Yes, sir.
सवाल किला शिकवा एनक्रिप्शन को लेके?
Kunal sir, Nishant here.
Yes, Nishant.
Just one thing to say. This is my first class, okay, and I think 2 classes have already been covered before. So I just wanted to understand the context of mail velope. I understand that you are doing an encryption and trying to send a secured message which is encrypted over the wireframe, and then somebody is trying to decrypt it through a password. So I think this is the context that I have got through for now. But would you just give me
Sure, I'll give you a small
short context that what exactly are we going to do
so
today?
what we'll do, we'll just revise the last class.
Sorry other guys, I'm just a bit
No
new,
issues.
so
There'll be a revision for them as well.
Yeah,
I hope guys that's okay with you guys also. Right, we'll
just wanted to understand what are we going to cover.
Sure.
And
so we studied
so that I can prep.
in the last class we studied about cryptography.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So what is cryptography? Cryptography is basically art of storing anything or art of hiding anything in a secret form, art of writing anything in a secret
Right.
format.
Right.
Now, why do we need to write anything or why do we need to store anything in a secret format? Because if you see, whenever you're transferring any data from one place to another place, right? Let's say I'm sending you any particular file, I'm sending you any mail, or I'm sending any very important mail. I don't want anybody else to read that particular data, right? Let's say there is a hacker who is sitting in my network. As soon as I send any mail or any particular file to you, he is the one who is reading this data and he can make changes in the data. And as soon as the data reaches you, the data is something else what I sent, but what you have received is something else. Let's say I sent you Facebook page or Facebook link, right? This was an authentic link which I sent, but what hacker did, hacker reached to this particular link, he made it something else, facebook1.com. Now you are receiving this link, you will click on it, you will enter your ID password, and hacker will be having your ID password. Or let's say I'm sending you, hi, I am not well, I'll not be able to take your class. What hacker will do? Hacker will catch the mail, hacker will manipulate the mail, he will write, hi, I'm going to the party, I'll not take the class. So because he is able to do it, because the data is not secure, data is not encrypted. What do you mean by encryption? Encryption means in a secret format. So whatever I am sending you any message, that message is not in a plain text. So this is a readable format, we call it a plain text. There is another text, we call it ciphertext. So ciphertext is something else which is not in a readable format. Where do we use it? We use it wherever we have to secure our data. Now, all the places we have to make sure that our data is secure. So when the data is onto your screen, the data should be in a plain text. Okay. Whenever data is, nobody is reading the data, data has to be stored somewhere or data has to travel somewhere. At that point of time, the data should be in this particular format. So that anybody, if catches the data, reads the data, they should not understand what the data is all about. Okay. So this particular thing, what we understood in the last session, in cryptography, then we have two main families. Now, why do we are doing this? Basically, let's say Facebook. Now, Facebook, you have account on Facebook, you have an ID, you have a password. Now, how Facebook saves your ID and password? Let's say your ID is test and your password is test@123. Now, Facebook does not store your password as test and test@123. How Facebook stores your passwords? Facebook stores your password in this format. Why? Let's say tomorrow the data administrator of Facebook, database administrator, he wants to log into someone's account. Okay, so what is the data he's going to see? This is not the data he's going to see over there because this value is not stored with Facebook at any format. What is a format stored with Facebook? This is the format which is stored with the Facebook. Now, if the database administrator, who is the employee of the Facebook, he wants to look for your ID and password, he will be able to see this data, not this data. Okay. So whenever you are putting in your Facebook the ID, you put this particular ID. Then this data gets converted into this format, and in the background, when the matching is done for ID and password, this is the what matching is done for ID and password. On the basis of this data, now you get enrolled or you get logged into your Facebook. Now let's say some hacker found this particular data. Okay, he wants to log into Facebook using this data. He will not be able to log into the data. Why? Because he will not be able to basically convert this particular data back to this format. Okay, or this data back to this format. So he will not be able to log in. That's how things are secure. That's how things can be secure online. So there are different keys which we use. One we call secret key. One we call public key. When we call private key. So secret key is used in symmetric encryption. Public key and private key we use in asymmetric encryption. Okay, symmetric encryption is basically when you use same key to encrypt and decrypt the message. So this data is converting into this data we convert back to this data. So we are using some algorithms and some keys. Okay, algorithms in both the areas we use the algorithm, but we also use the keys also. So these algorithms and keys are basically helping us to convert your plain text into ciphertext. But when you are using simple key, single key basically, not simple, single key to convert this plain text into ciphertext and ciphertext into plain text. When you're using same password, you can say at that point of time we call it symmetric encryption. If you're using different keys, let's say I want to interact with you, I want you to or anybody else to send me any message. Okay, so in that case I'll be using public key and private key to perform this activity. Public key I will send to everyone so that anyone whosoever wants to message me can message me. But in your secret key, it is not the scenario. If I want to communicate with you, I have to basically make sure that I need to communicate with you, then I will transfer you the key. If I have to communicate with someone else, I will have to transfer the key to them and then I'll be able to communicate. Same way, I cannot make my key public and tell them, okay, send me the message. I'll be able to read your message in encrypted format. No, I'll not be able to do it. For this particular solution, we came up with public key and private key. Now, public key, we send it to people, we keep it online. Anybody wants to talk to me, encryption mode, you can use this particular key and send it to us. Okay, this is what main difference between public key and private key. Second, we have something we call hashing. In hashing, we basically, so in encryption, we were able to convert this data into this data and this data into this data on the basis of keys. So keys are something like a password. So you have to make sure that your keys are hidden. You are not sharing your private key or secret key to anyone else, except the people you are basically, you can say, communicating. Right. But over here in hashing, there are no keys. There is only algorithm. That's all what we use. So you have your plain text, which gets converted into ciphertext in this format. And you cannot convert your ciphertext into plain text. Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think for the last 2 minutes things
There was
went
some
blank.
network issue. No, there was some network issue.
Right.
Okay.
So what I would request, Kunal sir, I'm not sure how long will it take for you to take the quick context, and other people may suffer because of it. So what I would request, I think, just give me a quick context about what has been covered very quickly, and
Yeah,
then
this much
let's
only we have
do the
covered. Like we covered whatever I
Okay.
just told you. Now we covered this much, and there was last thing we covered is steganography. So
Okay.
videos are already available online. You can just watch them, revise it. If you face any issue, let me know. I'll help you.
Yeah, that should be good.
So let's. May I ask what do you do, by the way? I was not interested.
Okay, so okay, let me introduce myself. Okay, hey everyone, this is Nishant. So I'm into the IT industry since last 11 years, and I basically call myself a performance engineer, where I do load testing, look into the networks, do performance engineering at multi tiers for server levels, right from the web server, application, and DB. But right now I work for a tier 1 product based company in Bangalore, and since I've been given an option to look for penetration testing and look for the vulnerabilities and try to explore more on that area. I got an interest into this course, and fortunately I enrolled yesterday itself. So that's a quick intro about myself.
Oh, great. Cool. Chalo. So now we'll be starting with the networking. So we'll not go that much deep into the networking. Networking is basically, we'll be understanding on the basics things, right? Basically, if you want to learn networking in very deep, you can go for CCNA course. But here we'll be understanding how network works. It's like, let's say, if you'll switch on the fan, right? The fan will start. But what is happening in the background? Whenever you switch on the button, what happens? There is a current which flows to the fan, right, through the wires. Then the current reaches to the motor. Then the motor, something starts revolving around, and then the fan starts moving, right? This is what is happening in the background. Same way in the networking, in the real-time scenario. Let's say I send you any particular mail, or we are performing this Zoom call. What is happening in the background? How the data is getting transferred from one place to another place, from another place to another place, and then reaches you, right? This is what, so there are so many ports, there are so many protocols which are being followed, which are being covered, right? So we'll be understanding about some ports and protocols, some different services which we run, IP address kya hota hai, and all those things. राइट। तो हम नेटवर्किंग में क्या पढ़ेंगे, हम इतना डीप में नहीं जाएंगे नेटवर्किंग के अंदर। अच्छा स्मर्थ, आई विल कम टू दैट। नेटवर्किंग में हम इतना डीप में नहीं जाएंगे, नेटवर्किंग में हम इतना पढ़ेंगे कि हमें समझ आ जाएंगी चीजें काम कैसे कर रही हैं बैकग्राउंड के अंदर। जैसे कि सपोज मैंने आपको एक फाइल भेजी, राइट, वो फाइल आप तक पहुंची कैसे, क्या क्या पैरामीटर्स के थ्रू वो पर्टिकुलर ट्रांसफर हो रही है वो फाइल आप तक पहुंचने के लिए, राइट। तो दिस इज व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न। अगर नेटवर्किंग के बारे में बहुत डीप में जानना चाहते हो, बहुत डीप में पढ़ना चाहते हो, सो यू कैन गो फॉर CCNA कोर्स। इट्स आई थिंक अ 6 months कोर्स और 3 months कोर्स, यू कैन गो फॉर इट। ऑलराइट, let's start with the networking. So before we'll start with the networking, what do you understand by networking? Networking का मतलब क्या है? Guys, what do you exactly understand by this term networking? Any idea? Anyone? Networking होता क्या exactly?
Basically means the transfer of information from
Your voice is not audible.
A group of computers which are connected with each other to communicate with each other.
Exactly, a group of laptops, group of systems which are connected to each other.
Devices, basically devices, a group of devices.
Exactly, group of devices, correct. So we can say that a group of devices that are connected by communication link. Why we're connecting these devices? So that they can communicate with each other, right? हम क्या बोल सकते हैं नेटवर्किंग को, कुछ डिवाइसेस जो है वो कनेक्ट हैं एक दूसरे से, चाहे किसी भी मीडियम से कनेक्टेड है, चाहे वायर से कनेक्टेड है, चाहे वायरलेस से कनेक्टेड है। किस लिए कनेक्टेड है? सो दैट दे कम्युनिकेट, वो एक दूसरे से कम्युनिकेट कर सके, नहीं तो हमें क्यों कनेक्ट करने हैं किसी भी डिवाइसेस, राइट। सो वी कैन से सेट ऑफ डिवाइसेस दैट आर कनेक्टेड बाय कम्युनिकेशन लिंक इज नेटवर्किंग। सेट ऑफ डिवाइसेस दैट आर कनेक्टेड बाय communication links, right? Now in your networking, no, we have divided your networking on the in two categories. One is on the basis of scale, another on the basis of mode of connection. Now when we are talking about on the basis of scale, अब हमने networking को ना दो parts में divide कर दिया है, एक ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ स्केल, दूसरा ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ मोड ऑफ कनेक्शन। ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ स्केल का मतलब है कि वो कितना बड़ा नेटवर्क है, जैसे कि खाली मेरे घर में यूज हो रहा है, पूरी सोसाइटी में यूज हो रहा है, या फिर पूरी मार्केट में यूज हो रहा है, या फिर पूरी सिटी में यूज हो रहा है, या पूरी कंट्री में यूज हो रहा है, या ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड यूज हो रहा है। ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन मीन्स कि वो यूज कैसे हो रहा है, वायर के थ्रू यूज हो रहा है या वायरलेस यूज हो रहा है। ओके, सो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ स्केल इज लाइक हाउ बिग योर कनेक्शन इज, how long your connection is, like you're using the connection within the house, or you're using the connection within the school or within the office premises, or you're using the connection all over the city, or you're using it all over the country or all over the world, like that. All right, that is basically on the basis of scale. Maybe you might have studied this one, this is very very basic, but yes, people should have the understanding of this one. In school time or college time we actually did not care about it, but yeah, this is very important. Okay, if we talk about on the basis of scale, the first network we have is PAN. Any idea what is PAN? कुछ idea है PAN क्या होता है? Anyone? On the basis of scale, what is PAN? No one? Guys?
No idea.
No idea.
I think it's a personal area network, just the way we connect our computer with mobile, computer with a printing machine, and it is exactly for your personal use, not open to the outside world.
Exactly. So PAN, this is the first network which we call it PAN, personal area network. So like Bluetooth, you guys use Bluetooth? What does Bluetooth means? So if you see the features of Bluetooth, what are the features of Bluetooth? First of all, the range is very very less. It's not that you are sitting in one room, another person is sitting in another room, and you guys can connect each other with Bluetooth. No, you cannot. Even if you are listening to the music, you go out of the room, it starts getting disturbed. The signal gets disturbed, right? Why? Because the range is not that good. Range is nearby 50 meters only. and within the 10 meters or 20 meters or 30 meters, within that range only it is going to work fine. If you go out of the range, it is not going to work fine. Secondly, let's say you are sitting in a car, okay, and you are connected to the Bluetooth system, you're connected to the music system of the car using your mobile phone. Will anybody else will be able to connect to that particular device? No, right? You are connected until and unless you get disconnected, the other person will not be able to connect yourself. So PAN is personal area network. This is little bit personal. Plus you use it for the personal purpose, not like everybody is coming and start using that particular device for you. No, it is not like that. So that is why we call it personal area network. The range is small and the people, those who can use it personally, can use it personally. Okay, shared is one of the example for personal area network. Bluetooth is basically, yeah, definitely it's an example of personal area network. Samarth, hold on with your questions because now I have already started with the networking. No, let me complete this one. I'll definitely explain you, or I'll answer all your queries related to cryptography.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Just remind me in the end. Ask me the question in the end. I'll definitely answer your questions. Okay. Now, first is then we have PAN. After PAN, we have something we call it LAN. LAN is basically local
area network.
So what is local area network? Example, give me the example.
लाइक सर एयरटेल का टावर होता है पर्टिकुलर, मतलब एक एरिया में, और उसी एरिया के अंदर उसकी रेंज होती है.
Okay, but you can't say that. Well, that's not an explanation of local area network. Anything else?
A network,
sort of Wi-Fi.
home network can be a local.
Home network can be a local area network. Okay. So basically, you can say that a network which you are using locally. Locally, I mean to say that you have defined a space for it. You have defined the range for it. So let's say I am using my Wi-Fi in my house, right? I am using Wi-Fi in my office. I'm using Wi-Fi in my school or in my college. So we have defined that, okay, within this particular area, now within the college only, I'll be able to use this Wi-Fi, right? And anybody who is who has the ID and password, who enters into the college, they'll be able to use it. As soon as you'll go out of the college, you'll not be able to use it. Let's say college is 10 floor big, so you will be able to use the Wi-Fi all over the 10 floors. Same way inside the offices, we have big buildings in the offices. You be at first floor, or you be at 5th floor, you be at 10th floor, you be at 15th floor. You will be able to use that particular Wi-Fi. You will be able to use that particular network. So network is basically within that premises, right? That particular point of time, we call it local area network, which we call it LAN. Then we have something, we call it MAN. MAN is basically metropolitan area network. Okay, likewise cable. Like you have a dish cable, or basically before you remember, you guys used to have a cables at your home, right? Every area has a different person who supplies that cables to your house. That is basically MAN. That was within the city, or you can call it a smart city as a metropolitan area network. So wherever you go, there everything is basically working with the cameras are working with the internet, or street lights are working with the internet, or they are connected wired. They will switch on the lights from wherever they are. They have Wi-Fi in the parks. They have Wi-Fi wherever you go, in the malls and everywhere, right? That point of time we call it MAN, metropolitan area. Then we have something we call it WAN. WAN is wide area network. The wide area network means wherever you go, you have the connection. Example for this one, WAN, anyone?
Let's say if into a university, the entire university having a Wi-Fi access, not a particular hostel or not a particular department.
Hey, I'm asking about WAN. WAN is
Wi-Fi, sir, like
WAN is all over the country. Let's say
Spread over a city.
all over the city is MAN. If you're talking about city, that connection is all over the city, then that is MAN. I'm talking about all over the country. Let's say you are in your
Internet.
house. इंटरनेट घर पे वाईफाई इंटरनेट है ना, घर पे भी कनेक्शन है. लेट्स से सेम नेटवर्क होना चाहिए ना. अगर मान लो अभी मैं अपने एक रूम में बैठूं, राइट, आई हैव अ इंटरनेट कनेक्शन. अभी मैं घर के बाहर जाता हूँ 2 किलोमीटर्स अवे फ्रॉम माय हाउस, व्हाट इज द नेटवर्क आई स्टिल बी हैविंग. और फिर मैं लेट्स से दुबई जाता हूँ, मेरे पास फिर भी एक नेटवर्क है, सेम नेटवर्क है, मैं पाकिस्तान जाता हूँ मेरे पास फिर भी सेम नेटवर्क है, मैं अमेरिका गया मेरे पास फिर भी सेम नेटवर्क है। व्हाट इज दैट नेटवर्क?
इंटरनेट।
अरे इंटरनेट नहीं, इंटरनेट तो चेंज हो गया ना मेरा नेटवर्क। मैं अभी घर पे एयरटेल यूज कर रहा हूँ इंटरनेट, लेट्स से मैं 2 किलोमीटर दूर गया अपने दोस्त के घर, उसका पास वोडाफोन का इंटरनेट था तो वोडाफोन यूज किया, या रिलायंस का था या जियो का था वो यूज हुआ, तो चेंज हो गया नेटवर्क।
I think does this cover satellites and
It covers, yes, it covers satellites and all those things. But what is that internet which you guys use it 24/7? इससे ज्यादा एग्जांपल क्या दूं मैं?
4G?
Yeah, 4G, yeah. So your SIM card, your GSM, your mobile network. See, you have a mobile phone, you be it at your place, you have internet or not, does not matter. If you have pay them the money, आप इंडिया में हो, आप अमेरिका में हो, आप दुबई में हो, आप पाकिस्तान में हो, आपका फोन चल रहा होता है ना हमेशा। Though you have to pay an extra amount over there, but it is always working, right? So that particular network is always working. So that is WAN. WAN means wide area network. Wherever you go, you have that internet, you have that network. Network is not only about internet. Network is about whatever the way of communication you can perform, whichever way of the communication. It is not only about you do not communicate only using the internet. Bluetooth is there, Bluetooth is also helpful for the communication purpose, right? Phone is there, phone you do not use it only for using the internet. You call someone without the internet also you are able to call, right? That is also a network. So your mobile phone networks are basically, you can use them all over the world, so you can call it WAN. Same way satellite, same way you get geolocation of your devices, right? How do you get delivery at your place while using Zomato? There is a satellite which selects all the places and performs all the activity for you, right? That is wide area network. Now you be in USA, you be in India, you be it anywhere, you switch on your location, you will be able to choose the location and you will be able to order from Zomato or any particular application which is available over there, right? So that is wide area network. So we have 4 types of scale. On the basis of scale, we have divided our network in 4 types: PAN, LAN, MAN, WAN. PAN is personal area network, very small range, very small range. Not even like it's within the room, within a room, you can say that. Okay. Second is LAN, within the house, you can say, or within the area premises, school, college, offices, that is LAN. When you call about MAN, within the city, okay, smart cities, or you can say cable network, all these are examples of MAN. Then WAN, within the country or within the world, or when you go outside the country also. That is WAN, which is your mobile network, is one of the best example. Satellite is one of the example for that. टूल क्लियर हुआ ये? पैन, लैन, मैन, वैन? गाइस किसी को लैंग्वेज कन्वर्जन चाहिए?
सर
एनीवन? हिंदी टू इंग्लिश, इंग्लिश टू हिंदी? कूल, चलो ग्रेट. Then we have on the basis of mode of connection. Mode of connection means that how you're connected. This is very simple. One is wired, another is wireless. एक बार मैं हिंदी में बता देता हूँ फटाफट, फिर आगे बढ़ते हैं. तो देखो हमने क्या अभी इसमें हमने पढ़ा क्या है, जो हमारा नेटवर्क है ना वो 4 फील्ड में डिवाइडेड है, 2 फील्ड में डिवाइडेड है. एक तो स्केल के बेसिस पे, एक कनेक्शन के बेसिस पे. स्केल का मतलब है कि कितना बड़ा नेटवर्क है आपका. ओके, तो कितना बड़ा नेटवर्क है मतलब अगर हम घर के अंदर है, अगर सपोज ब्लूटूथ यूज कर रहे हो, ब्लूटूथ क्या है, वो कमरे के अंदर तक उसकी रेंज रहती है, राइट? कमरे के बाहर तो उसकी रेंज नहीं जा सकती. अगर आप अपने रूम के बाहर जाते हो ब्लूटूथ कनेक्टिविटी को यूज करके. ओके कूल, चलो थैंक यू. ठीक है, और नाउ ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कनेक्शन विच इज वायर्ड एंड वायरलेस. नाउ यू गाइज नो व्हाट इज वायर्ड. वायर्ड मींस you are using wire for basically your connection purpose. Likewise LAN cable, right? Or let's say you want to display your laptop on the television. What do you use for that? आपको अपने टेलीविजन पे डिस्प्ले
HDMI.
exactly HDMI. So that becomes wired connection. अगर आपको अभी भी अपने टीवी को या फिर अपने मोबाइल फोन को टीवी पे डिस्प्ले करना है तो हम क्या यूज करते हैं? आपको वायर यूज नहीं करने,
वाईफाई और ब्लूटूथ।
कास्ट
करते हो ना, मोबी कास्ट करके बहुत सारी एप्लीकेशंस आती हैं। तो आपको उसमें वायर यूज नहीं करनी, वायरलेस यूज करते हो। अब इसमें इंटरनेट यूज नहीं करते आप, इसमें आप कास्टिंग यूज करते हो, अलग अलग सॉफ्टवेयर यूज करते हो। आप ब्लूटूथ के थ्रू भी यूज कर सकते हो, बट वो बहुत लंबा प्रोसेस होता है, राइट? तो वट एवर वे ऑफ communication you are using, so there are only two ways, one is wired, one is wireless। या तो तार लगा के यूज किया या बिना तार के यूज किया, राइट? तो एक ये होता है। तो ये बेसिकली हमारे टाइप्स ऑफ नेटवर्क्स के अंदर आता है। ओके, अंडरस्टूड दिस मच? सिंपल था?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now the thing is that while we were making the internet, okay, there were many things which we have to take care of। जब हम इंटरनेट को बना रहे थे ना, बहुत सारी चीजें हमें था जो जिनको हमें ध्यान में रखना था, लाइक कि हाउ डेटा इज गोइंग टू कम्युनिकेट, हाउ वन पर्टिकुलर एप्लीकेशन इज गोइंग टू कम्युनिकेट विद अनदर एप्लीकेशन, how application will interact with cables, how cables are going to interact with cables। So there were so many questions, so many things which we have to discuss कि केबल से कैसे इंटरेक्ट करेगी, कोई भी एप्लीकेशन कैसे इंटरेक्ट करेगी, केबल से एप्लीकेशन से कैसे इंटरेक्ट करेगी। तो ऐसे बहुत बड़ा सिनेरियो था। तो दैट इज व्हाई वी बेसिकली डिवाइडेड एवरीथिंग इनटू डिफरेंट सेगमेंट्स मतलब डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऐसे डिवाइड कर दिया हमने। तो चल कोई पर्टिकुलर डेटा जा रहा है, वो पहले यहाँ जाएगा, फिर यहाँ से यहाँ जाएगा, फिर यहाँ से इस नंबर पे जाएगा, फिर यहाँ पे ऐसे। लाइकवाइज इन फैक्ट्रीज, what happens in the factories? Let's say there is a factory who is creating shoes। So what they do, first they create the sole, then sole will go to another department, they will put something, likewise they will divide it into different sizes, then they'll put shoe cap over there, then in the end laces will be given, then in the end packing will be done, like that, right? So end product will be delivered. Same way when we are working on the internet, when you're transferring any file, same way on the internet how it goes. So your file first goes to first level, then second level, then third layer, then fourth layer, then fifth layer, then sixth layer, then seventh layer. This is what we call OSI model। Have you ever heard of this term OSI model? कभी सुना है OSI model के बारे में?
No, sir.
नहीं, चलो आज सुनेंगे।
Yes, sir.
So what is OSI model? So basically let's say you are you have opened a company, आपने अपनी कंपनी खोली and you want to run a company। Now you are not hiring anyone, आपके पास कोई employees नहीं है, okay, you are working on your own, you open the company। Now operations things are, you are also looking for operations, you are looking for the payments, you are looking for the collection, financial things, basically you are looking for the accounts, you are looking for the HR things also, you are looking for the marketing also, you're looking for the sales also। So there are so many things you're looking for, right? Now when you are alone and working for so many things, do you get time to rest? No, there are more chances that you might make mistakes as well, right? You need a helping hand, but you're not getting a helping hand। So in this scenario the work will be slow, plus the chances to make mistake are also high, right? So what we did, instead of performing everything at one go, we divided at different layers। That's what we call OSI model। So what this guy did, let's say you opened the business, you're not working alone now what you did, you hired people। आप अकेले काम नहीं कर रहे, अब आपने लोगों को हायर कर लिया। फाइनेंस का काम फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट देख रहा है, ऑपरेशंस काम ऑपरेशंस देख रहा है, और मार्केटिंग का काम मार्केटिंग देख रहा है, सेल्स का काम सेल्स देख रहा है। सेम वे OSI मॉडल में यही आया कि अगर आपको एक फाइल कहीं पे ट्रांसफर करनी है, तो वो फाइल कैसे ट्रांसफर होगी, किस लेवल से जाएगी कि वो सिक्योर भी रहे और वो ढंग से ट्रांसफर भी हो जाए। तो अगर वो आपको ट्रांसफर हो रही है तो वो मेक श्योर करता है कि वो ट्रांसफर पूरे तरीके से हो रही है, ऐसे नहीं कि आधी फाइल ट्रांसफर होगी, बीच में कनेक्शन रुक गया या फिर कोई भी इशू आ गया। दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल OSI मॉडल। If you go with the full form, it is Open System Interconnection। Open System Interconnection model। Now when so there are 7 layers in this particular model। So you can go by 1 to 7 or you can go from 7 to 1। 1 to 7 मतलब आप फाइल डाउनलोड कर रहे हो, ओके। 7 to 1 मतलब आप फाइल अपलोड कर रहे हो। तो दोनों चीजें होती हैं, राइट? So you can take it both the ways। So first is your application layer। ये जनरली 8th क्लास में पढ़ाया जाता है, पर हम पढ़ते नहीं है। Generally they teach you this thing in 8th standard, but we don't study actually। Okay, so the first one is application layer, then we have presentation layer. Then we have session layer. Guys, can you please put your mic on mute? Because can you please put your mic on mute? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have application layer, presentation layer, session layer, then we have transport layer, then we have network layer, then we have data link layer, then finally we have physical layer. See now let's say there is a company. First I'll explain you this in a very layman language, that how any particular file gets transferred from one place to another place. Okay, then we'll go for the technical terms, or in between I'll be explaining you the technical terms as well. ठीक है, अभी हम कैसे समझेंगे इसको? हम एक जैसे फाइल ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं, लेट्स से कि एक कंपनी है हमारी ABC लिमिटेड, ओके, एक हमारी दूसरी कंपनी है यहाँ पे XYZ लिमिटेड। तो हम कैसे समझेंगे कि ABC लिमिटेड को एक फाइल ट्रांसफर करनी है XYZ लिमिटेड को, ओके, तो वो कैसे फाइल ट्रांसफर होगी? अगर पहले एप्लीकेशन लेयर पे जाएगी, फिर प्रेजेंटेशन लेयर पे जाएगी, फिर सेशन लेयर पे जाएगी, तो इन लेयर्स पे काम क्या हो रहा है उस फाइल के साथ, क्या फाइल के साथ क्या क्या चेंजेस हो रहे हैं? तो इट इज लाइक कि लेट्स से कि आप कोई फाइल डाउनलोड कर रहे हो या फिर आप कोई फाइल अपलोड कर रहे हो। तो लेट्स से कि आप एक फाइल डाउनलोड कर रहे हो अपने सिस्टम के अंदर, ठीक है, 1 GB फाइल है, 2 GB फाइल है, 10 GB फाइल है, वट एवर द फाइल साइज इज एंड वट एवर टाइप ऑफ फाइल इट इज, or from wherever you are downloading. Just have this thing in your mind that when you're downloading the file, what are the things which are happening? Okay, so first is application layer. So ABC says that, basically internet says that I need to send this file to XYZ limited, which is you. You are downloading one file. What will happen on every layer? So first is application layer. What is application layer is doing? Application layer is basically the applications which you are using. Okay, so you're using Gmail, you're using Zoom, you're using any particular application, WhatsApp, that is basically what application layer is. Okay, now let's say application layer is sort of a owner of the company, right? He's the application, he's the owner of the company, so we'll call him owner of the company. So owner of the company says that, listen, presentation layer, you need to transfer some data. Aapko 400 pages, you have to send 400 pages to XYZ limited. So presentation is like, okay boss, I'll do that for you. Okay, now presentation layer receives 400 pages of the document. Presentation layer के पास 400 document पहुंचते हैं. Now presentation layer checks. Now let's say कि आपके boss ने or your boss gives you some documents. Will you transfer those documents without reading them, or you will read them and then check the documents properly and then transfer? So you will read them and then you will transfer. So application layer ने presentation layer को 400 documents दिए. What did presentation layer now doing? He basically checks what are these pages or what are these documents. He says that these pages are in French language, and the XYZ limited is not a French company, it's an Indian company, so they will understand English, right? So all the encoding, decoding, okay, all the encryption, decryption, this happens at the presentation layer. All right, so at your point in your application, we have presentation layer in your device. Over there, your all the encryption, decryption happens. All right, so it transfers your 400 pages to session layer after the transfer, after the changes are being done. Okay, now session layer receives 400 pages. Now basically presentation layer is like, boss has given 400 documents, can you please transfer it to XYZ department? He's like, okay, done, I'll do that. Now session layer is like, okay, let me check whether they are available or not. If they are not available, how will I transfer the data, right? So if you're not connected to the internet, they will not be able to transfer you this data, right? So it will check whether you're connected to the internet. Yes, you are connected to the internet. So it will call, are you connected? Yes, I'm connected. So it will tell XYZ limited that I am sending you some documents. Make sure until and unless you receive the documents, you don't keep my phone down. You stay connected to me. All right. So session layer is like, okay, fine, I'll stay connected to you. Now the connection has been made. Until and unless the pages are downloaded properly, everything is fine. The connection is secure. The connection has been made. Okay. Now session layer is like, okay, listen, transport layer, the guy is waiting for you. Please go ahead and transfer these 400 pages to this guy. Transport layer is like, okay, fine, I'll do that for you. But transport layer is very, you can say, darpok bachcha. Okay, he is very scared. Why? He's like, if I'm transferring 400 pages and if any of the pages or 400 pages get lost, I'll be in trouble, right? Basically, connection got lost, so no pages will be downloaded. So what transport layer does? Transport layer divides this 400 pages into small packets. Now, this is what it is. Small segments it will divide. This is what it is. Now, every page will be, basically he made 4 packets of 100 pages each. And he is like, in case this packet got lost, I still have 300 packets with me. So, that thodi kam padegi, right? So this way, he divides all these packets, 400 pages into different packets of 100 each. Now he's like, transport layer is like, okay, listen to me, network layer. I have divided these pages. Now you please go ahead and send this to next level. So network layer is like, okay, fine, I'll do that for you. So network layer then checks, okay, what are the pages? He sees that there are 4 packets and these are the packets to be transferred. But where I have to transfer it? Who is transferring these packets? They have no idea. Network layer is like, I have no idea where to transfer. So network layer checks. He puts what he puts, to and from. To means the IP address of your IP address, basically. Who is sending? Your IP address. From where it is coming. Okay, sender IP address. Okay, there are MAC address and different other headers also. Okay, for now you can just take it with the IP addresses. Which main address is your IP address. So network layer basically puts the to and from address, the where the data is coming from, where it is going. Then it gives the data to data link layer. Data link layer checks everything that all the pages are properly sealed, no manipulation has been done with the particular data and everything. It performs, it checks. Once the checking is done, it gives the data to physical layer. Okay, what is physical layer? Physical layer is basically, Osma, can you hear me now? Yes, rejoin it, no issues. Okay, then it goes to the physical layer. What is physical layer? Physical layer is basically kind of a driver for you. So you ask your driver, no, sometimes, bro, can you please get me some pens or papers or whatever you require for your household works, right? That's what your physical layer is. Or you give him some documents, go ahead and give it to that particular office. So that driver will go, he'll deliver your documents and he'll come back. That's what his job is. So same way over here, the physical layer is like a driver, basically wires and cables, right? So it will give the documents over here. Now physical layer receives the documents. It is going to say what I'll do with the documents. Data link layer, here it goes to you. Now data link layer, as soon as he gets the documents, he checks whether the manipulation was done with the documents or not. The documents are properly sealed or not. So documents are properly sealed. It will transfer the document to network layer. Okay. Now network layer checks from where the documents are coming from. Okay, there were 4 packets of 100 each. So it is going to check, are these addresses matches? So if this is from 123, this is from IP address, this is from IP address 123, this is from IP address, these are from same IP address or different IP address. If these documents, 4 packets are not from same IP address, it is going to drop the document for security reasons. If they are from same IP address, then it is basically going to allow the documents to move further. Okay, this is the checks. Then at the transport layer, it says that, okay, I received something like this, which are 100 pages, 100 packets of 4 total. What over here happens is, transport layer is like, this is not how I can represent my documents. So he combines all the documents. and make 400 pages altogether again, the way it was before. All right, then it transfers the 400 pages to session layer. Session layer is like, okay, did we receive the documents? Transport layer is like, yes, we received the documents. Over here, as soon as they receive the documents, it tells this particular guy, session layer of ABC, that we have received the documents. Now you can keep the phone down. As soon as it receives the document, it basically disconnects this connection. Okay, now because it has nothing to do. Once the file is downloaded, why you need to make the connection? That disconnect the connection, then the presentation layer basically represents it, and application layer helps you out to look for the data. It is MP3 file, MP4 file, whatever file it is, what you have downloaded depends upon what is the your system is basically, which software your system has. On the basis of that presentation layer works. Let's say for MP3 player or any particular file, let's say for image file, I am using JPG as my software. So it is, if I'm downloading any particular image file, it is going to download as JPG, not any other. Okay, if it supports JPG, it is going to download as a JPG file. And then application layer, whichever software, whichever tool I'm using to watch that particular file, to view that file, to read that file, to understand that file. That is basically then application layer. Or you don't want to view the file, you just downloaded it, whatever it is. So you don't have to basically view it also, it's not important. Okay, this is how it works. Samajh aaya? Understood how actually things are working in the background? Yes, I'll do that.
So
Yes, sorry.
So it's basically a two-way communication, that once it will move from application layer to physical layer, then again from physical layer to application layer.
Exactly. So
when we are downloading a file, that means the entire process, once we go from application layer to physical layer, then again it will go from physical layer to application layer, then only we'll be able to download one file.
Exactly.
Okay.
Even like you might have seen this thing, that while you're downloading any file, it does not get downloaded at one go. There is something MTU, we call it maximum transmission unit. I'll explain you sometime else. So while you're downloading that file, right? So let's say you downloaded half file over here. You got some internet issue. So your file does not get wasted over there. Whatever downloaded you have done, whatever downloading you have done, you can restart your downloading from that particular area, right? That is what, because of transport layer. You have downloaded half file. Sorry.
Okay. Might be like some servers which are giving a facility to resume the download, or might be like how the torrent works, where we can resume the download.
Exactly. Every file basically gives you an opportunity to resume the download.
Okay.
Right. So you can download it from wherever. It is because of this particular process only. Okay. I'll repeat the same process in Hindi now. All right. अभी मैं दोबारा से समझा देता हूँ एक बार. In case अभी भी समझना है तो मेरे से फिर बता देना. I'll explain you again. तो बेसिकली OSI मॉडल में क्या हम ये जानने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि एक फाइल अगर आप डाउनलोड कर रहे हो तो आप फाइल डाउनलोड कर कैसे रहे हो, उसके बैकग्राउंड में क्या चल रहा है. दैट इज व्हाट नेटवर्क इज ऑल अबाउट. तो बैकग्राउंड में क्या चल रहा है. तो देयर आर 7 लेयर्स, राइट. जब भी हम इंटरनेट को बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे ना, तो हमारे पास ये चैलेंज था कि सारी चीजें कम्युनिकेट कैसे करेंगी, कुछ गड़बड़ ना हो बीच में. तो वी केम अप विद दीस 7 लेयर्स. ओके. अब ये 7 लेयर क्या करती है? 7 लेयर हेल्प करती है आपकी कोई भी फाइल डाउनलोड करने में, या फिर अपलोड करने में, या फिर डेटा को सेंड करने में. कहीं पे भी आपको डेटा सेंड करना है तो सबसे पहले हमारी होती है एप्लीकेशन लेयर. एप्लीकेशन लेयर क्या होती है? जैसे कि कोई भी सॉफ्टवेयर आप यूज कर रहे हो, राइट. आप जीमेल यूज कर रहे हो, आप जूम यूज कर रहे हो, कोई भी एप्लीकेशन, मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन हम बोलते हैं एप्लीकेशन, व्हाट्सएप यूज कर रहे हो, वट एवर एप्लीकेशन यू आर यूजिंग, दैट इज बेसिकली योर एप्लीकेशन लेयर. ठीक है. अब हम यहाँ ये अंडरस्टैंड कर रहे हैं, रिपीट एंड शॉर्टली. ओके. अब हम ये अंडरस्टैंड कर रहे हैं कि कोई भी हमारे पास डेटा है वो कैसे ट्रांसफर होगा. तो हमने यहाँ पे एग्जांपल लिया कि 400 पेजेस हमें ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं. तो ये वाला जो पेज है ना, एप्लीकेशन लेयर इज लाइक अ बॉस. बॉस कह रहे हैं कि 400 पेजेस है, ट्रांसफर कर दो. पहले ये प्रेजेंटेशन लेयर पे जाता है. प्रेजेंटेशन लेयर पे जाके प्रेजेंटेशन लेयर चेक करता है कि ये कौन सी लैंग्वेज में, कि सामने वाली पार्टी को समझ आएगा भी नहीं आएगा. वो देखता है कि यार ये तो फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज में है. अब फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज में तो वो फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज में चेक करता है कि यार ये तो फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज में, सामने वाली पार्टी को फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज तो आती नहीं, तो उसको कन्वर्ट करता है इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में। तो यहाँ पे क्या होता है बेसिकली इंक्रिप्शन, डिक्रिप्शन और आपका कोडिंग, एनकोडिंग, डिकोडिंग, ये सब यहाँ पे सारी एक्टिविटीज होती है प्रेजेंटेशन लेयर पे। फिर आते हैं सेशन लेयर। सेशन लेयर बेसिकली कनेक्टिविटी के काम आता है कि आप कनेक्टेड हो अपने पर्टिकुलर सेशन से या नहीं। ओके, तो यहाँ पे वो कनेक्शन बनाता है कि आप एक फाइल डाउनलोड कर रहे हो, तो कनेक्शन ब्रेक नहीं होना चाहिए, इसलिए वो कनेक्शन बनाता है कि फाइल डाउनलोड होते होते कनेक्शन ब्रेक ना हो जाए। ओके, तो ये कनेक्शन क्रिएट करता है। जैसे ही कनेक्शन क्रिएट करता है वो आगे जाता है ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर पे, ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर को अपनी फाइल्स देता है 400 पेजेस। ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर अब जब फाइल डाउनलोड करते हो तो एक बार में तो पूरी फाइल डाउनलोड होती नहीं है, धीरे धीरे करके होती है। पहले एक लेट्स से 10 GB की फाइल कर रहे हो, पहले 100 MB आएगा, फिर 200 MB आएगा, फिर 300 MB आएगा, फिर 400 MB आएगा। ऐसी ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर में होता है। वो क्या करता है, आपके जो पेजेस है ना 400 पेजेस, वो उसको डिवाइड कर देता है 100 पेजेस ईच में, सो दैट अगर कनेक्शन टूट गया तो आपके पास एटलीस्ट जो डाउनलोडेड है वो सिक्योर रहे। ऐसे नहीं कि आपने डाउनलोड किया और कुछ भी डाउनलोड नहीं हुआ क्योंकि कनेक्शन टूट गया, राइट। फिर वो भेजता है उसको नेटवर्क लेयर पे। नेटवर्क लेयर बोलता है कि भाई जाना कहाँ है और कौन भेज रहा है ये तो बता दो। तो नेटवर्क लेयर उस पर एड्रेस डालता है, IP एड्रेसेस डालता है, राइट। नेटवर्क लेयर भेजते हैं डेटा लिंक लेयर के पास कि भाई सब चेक कर ले, सब ठीक है ना, कोई गड़बड़ तो नहीं है फाइल में। तो चेक करता है कि हाँ सब ठीक है, हमारी तरफ से हम भेज सकते हैं। डेटा लिंक लेयर ने चेक किया, कोई इशू तो नहीं है भेजने में, कोई एरर तो नहीं है, कोई एरर नहीं है। फिजिकल लेयर आपकी वायर्स हो गई। फिजिकल लेयर यहाँ पे पहुंची दूसरी वायर के थ्रू या वायरलेस के थ्रू। डेटा लिंक लेयर पे गई, कोई गड़बड़ तो नहीं है, चेक करता है, कोई एरर तो नहीं है, कोई एरर नहीं है। एरर नहीं है तो भेजते हैं नेटवर्क लेयर के पास। नेटवर्क लेयर देखते हैं कि एड्रेस क्या है, सबका एड्रेस सेम है, अलग अलग है। अगर किसी का भी एड्रेस अलग है वो उस फाइल को वहीं ड्रॉप कर देता है। अगर आपके पास पूरी फाइल नहीं होती तो फाइल खुलेगी भी नहीं, राइट। तो नेटवर्क लेयर मेक श्योर करता है कि सारे का सारा जो डेटा आया है ना वो एक ही एड्रेस से है, अलग एड्रेस से नहीं है। अगर अलग एड्रेस से है तो पॉसिबिलिटी है कि किसी हैकर ने कुछ मैनिपुलेशन किया, तो चेक करते हैं नेटवर्क लेयर पे। नेटवर्क लेयर कहते हैं सब ठीक है, हो जाता है ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर पे। ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर कहते हैं कि कितने पेजेस है, 400, अलग अलग पैकेट्स में आए हैं, चल मैं इनको एक साथ कर देता हूँ जैसे पहले थे, जैसे होने चाहिए। तो आपकी फाइल डाउनलोड तो अलग अलग बिट्स में होती है, अलग अलग साइज में होती है, लेकिन एट द एंड ऑफ द डे फाइल तो आप एक साथ ही खोलते हो ना, राइट। तो आपने फाइल खोली, जैसे ही आपकी फाइल डाउनलोड हो गई, सेशन लेयर बोलते हैं कि भाई साहब फाइल तो डाउनलोड हो गई है और बताओ। तो कहते हैं चलो ठीक है, गुड नाइट, बाय बाय, मेरा काम हो गया, बाय बाय, और वहां पे कनेक्शन क्लोज हो जाता है। अब आपकी फाइल डाउनलोड हो गई है, अब आपको फाइल रन करनी है, तो आप एक स्पेसिफिक सॉफ्टवेयर यूज करते हो उस फाइल को रन करने के लिए। लेट्स से आपको MP4 फाइल डाउनलोड किया है तो आप VLC यूज करते हैं, जो भी यूज करते हैं, राइट, वो सब। या फिर आपने MP3 फाइल डाउनलोड की है तो आपको जो भी यूज करना है। आपने इमेज यूज की है, इमेज डाउनलोड की है, तो जो भी आपको यूज करना है एप्लीकेशन वो सब, राइट। और फिर आप उस फाइल को देख सकते हो, यू कैन रीड दैट पर्टिकुलर फाइल। दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स। अभी समझ आया? नाउ इट्स क्लियर, ग्रेट एवरीवन।
Yes, sir.
अभी इसमें कोई क्वेश्चन, एनी क्वेश्चन इन दिस? Cool, chalo, great. Now the thing is that how things are working also on these particular layers. So there are different protocols which are running. When I say protocols, mean you can say different services. Okay, protocols. Now what do you understand by protocols? Simple term, protocol. If I'll say you need to follow some protocol, what do you mean by that?
Set of rules.
Order.
Set of rules which you have to follow, exactly. So there are some set of rules, you can also call them services also. Okay, तो कुछ सर्विसेज रन करते हैं, कुछ सेट ऑफ रूल्स होते हैं जो हमें ना फॉलो करने होते हैं अलग अलग लेयर के ऊपर। तो वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग अबाउट फ्यू ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोटोकॉल्स। ओके, वही अब जो सर्विसेज हैं, अब जो प्रोटोकॉल्स हैं वो कहीं पे रन तो करेंगी ना। अब लेट्स से कि आपको खाना बनाना है, you want to cook something, you need a kitchen for it, right? Same way, when you have to run a service, there is a particular area where you have to run the service. We call them ports. Okay, we call them ports. Ports is like a gateway. Gateway means let's say कि you want to enter into kitchen, कहाँ से enter करोगे? एक गेट चाहिए ना किचन में एंटर करने के लिए। Same way you want to enter into the drawing room, there is a gate. So whatever service you are using, there is a specific port which we have given online. So if I want to, let's say I want to open a website which is HTTP website. I hope you guys are aware of it. Or I have a website, HTTPS website. If you are not aware of HTTPS, don't worry, I'll explain you. In case you are aware of it, just an example of what are ports. So I want to run HTTP website. So when I'm running HTTP website, so there is a separate port for it. Okay, port number 80. I'll be using port number 80. If I want to run HTTPS website, there is a separate port for it, which is port number 443. Same way, if I want to run any of other service or any other protocol, let's say I want to run protocol FTP, there is another port for it, port number 20 and 21. I want to run any other service, let's say IMAP. Okay, for that we have separate port, which is port number 143. Okay, so there are different ports which are being defined for different services. It is not important that every time you are running HTTP service you have to use port number 80. No, it is not at all important. No, I'll not say important. I'll say compulsory. Okay, you can any point of time you want to run HTTP service. It's your network. The way you want to run it, you run it. You want to use HTTP service, you can define it on port number 8080. You can define it on port number 81. You can define it on port number 685, whatever port you feel like. But according to the standards, port number 80, according to the international standards, port number 80 is which we use for HTTP service. If you are using the service, you are using the network for yourself only. You are not making it public. At that point of time, you can use it port number 80. Sorry, at that point of time, you can use any port number, but if you are making it public, you have to use port number 80. It will help you out. Okay. All right, guys, just give me a minute. Now that is what the ports are. So total number of ports, what we have is 65,535. At any point of time, we have to run any service. We can run a service on a particular port. We cannot run HTTP service also on port number 80 and like we can use port number 80 for another service also. No, for one service, we have to use one particular port number. Okay, understood what I am trying to say about ports?
Yes, sir.
समझ आया पोर्ट क्या होते हैं?
Yes, sir.
Ports or gateway are similar.
Ports, gates are similar.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so basically if I want to run any service, I need a specific port number for it. So if I'm running HTTP service, I'll tell you what is HTTP service. I'm using port number 80. If I'm using let's say HTTPS service, I'm using port number 443. I'm using a specific service, let's say DHCP, or we'll have different port. Any other service will have different port. I want UDP, different port, TCP, different port, like that. Okay, so total number of ports which we have is port number 65,535. Make sure you remember this number, because when you go for the interview, no, sometimes just to test your basic knowledge, they ask you these questions. Okay, what are the total number of ports we have? It's 65,535 precisely, not +1, no plus minus. Okay, now what are the different services or protocols I was talking about? We'll discuss that. So have you ever heard of something like DHCP?
Yes, sir. Once.
Yes, sir.
So the question is, sir, in the payload, which port number we use? So Arshdeep, depend करता है कि which payload we are creating. While creating the payload, how we are sending the payload. It is not important that we have to use a specific payload. We have to use a specific port number. Whatever port is free, we use that particular port number. Okay. So let's say my port number 80 is busy. So I cannot use port number 80 for that particular payload which I am creating. So I can use port number 4444. So by default, Most of the applications use port number 4444. Okay. Most of the tools which we have, they use port number 4444 because port number 4444 is free. We have no specific service defined which is running on port number 4444. But you can provide any port number, whichever port number is free. Okay. So we have a particular port, we call it, we have a particular service, we call it DHCP. Arshdeep, we have command for it, I'll tell you. So we have DHCP as one particular service. What do you mean by DHCP? Anyone, any idea? Kabhi suna DHCP ke baare mein?
Full form is dynamic host control protocol.
Sorry?
Dynamic host control protocol.
Okay, dynamic host configuration protocol. Nice. Osama is saying that with the help of DHCP, our Wi-Fi will directly connect to the router. Not exactly, Osama. Anybody else?
No, sir.
So what is DHCP? DHCP is dynamic host configuration protocol. What does it do? It provides IP address to your system automatically. It provides address to your system automatically. Okay, what do you mean by this? Now, whenever you have to get connect to the internet, now let's say I have a mobile phone, I need to use the internet, I'll put the password, I'll be connected to the internet, right? Now, when I have to get connected to the internet, I need something we call IP address. Now, I hope you guys are aware of IP address. If not, don't worry, we will be discussing about IP address in detail. Okay, so I need an IP address, internet protocol address. So it's a unique address which everybody gets. So there are two types of IP address. One is public, one is private. Public is basically used for some other purpose. Private is used for other purpose. Right now, don't get confused with all these things. Just understand we need an IP address to get connected to the internet. Now, if you don't have the IP address, you will not be able to get connected to the internet. So what is DHCP is doing? DHCP is already configured in your router. Okay. As soon as you provide the password, DHCP gets activated. It provides the IP address to your device. And as soon as it provides the IP address, you get connected to the internet and you can use the internet. This is what DHCP job is. DHCP job is to provide you the IP address. Before, we used to basically provide the IP address manually. So there was a system administrator guy. He used to sit, he used to provide the IP address. Then you were able to basically use the internet. Otherwise, without providing the IP address, you will not be able to use the internet. So we came up with DHCP to make things automated. Okay. Then we have something we call FTP. FTP means file transfer protocol. Now, file transfer protocol means that whenever you have to transfer any particular file from one device to another device, okay, we use file transfer protocol, but it is used when we are basically transferring file over the internet. Otherwise, you can transfer file using USB, you can transfer file using hard disk, any particular way, right? But when you're transferring file over the internet, at that point of time, we use it file transfer protocol FTP. So we have two port number which we basically FTP works on. One is port number 21, another is port number 20 and 21. Now port number 21 is used to make the connection. Okay, port number 20 is basically used to transfer the file. All right. So we have two ports in your FTP. One is port number 20, which is used to transfer the file. One is port number 21, which basically makes connection. Okay. Now, if you find any of the website is running and their port number 20 or 21 is open, there is a possibility that you can see all the files of that particular application. Okay. How do you figure it out? How do you look for it? So how your website URL is, it is like this, apc. Let's say. Okay. Now what you have to do is you just have to delete HTTPS over here. You have to write FTP :/ and then you write ftp.abc.com. And if the port number 20 and 21 is open, it is going to show you all the files available in that particular application. Otherwise, it is not going to show you. For example, I have a website. We have ncw.gov.in. Before it was working. Now let us check whether FTP port is open or not. Now this is HTTPS website and everything is fine over this particular website. What we will do, हम ये delete कर देंगे HTTPS and we will put FTP over here. And we will delete the www and we'll give FTP. Simple. Hit enter. If FTP port is open, it is going to show us the file. If FTP port is not open, then it is not going. Okay, they have made it. They have made it log now. Before it was fine. Before it was open. Now they made it authenticated. They made it not private. Okay, so this way you can figure it out. If it is available for you, it is going to show you files over there and you can download those files. Not available, not showing you anything. Okay, this is what we call FTP. There are other ways also to figure it out, which ports are open, which ports are closed. We will be learning that. Okay, in your scanning topic, right now we are understanding the networking part, that what are things in networking we have. So before moving on to the scanning part, let's say हम अभी scanning कर लेते. So you won't understand what is FTP, what are ports, what are protocols we are looking for. That is why I'm explaining you these things. So when we'll be understanding about spoofing, not scanning part, when we'll be understanding scanning part, at that point of time, these things will help you out. So in scanning, I'll be telling you, okay, you can see that FTP port is open, port number 21 is open. Okay, then how do you make connection to port number 21? Let's say port number DHCP is open. How we can get, basically it will not be open. Or let's say port number 8080 or 3535 is open. SSH port is open. Any other port is open. How we can make connection using that particular port? Okay, we will understand that. So that is why I'm explaining you all these things. I know this is a theory part, but it is very, very important to understand. Then we have something we call HTTP and HTTP. Yes. Now this, I hope I am expecting that you guys are aware of. I would like to know from you. What do you mean by HTTP?
HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol and HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol over a secure connection. S is for secure. I guess HTTP is mostly used for in case of routers or where the connection is not so secure, and HTTP can be we can have a MITM attack over the HTTP and we can grab the passwords also in case of HTTP. But in case of HTTPS, MITM doesn't work until or unless we don't have a port forwarding or something like that.
Okay, nice. Ansh, which one you want me to repeat? Which topic? FTP or IP address? FTP. Okay, I'll repeat FTP first. Okay, then we'll move forward to HTTP and HTTPS. तो FTP में क्या होता है? देखो, FTP हम यूज करते हैं फाइल ट्रांसफर करने के लिए. ठीक है. अब आपको जब फाइल ट्रांसफर करनी है ना ऑनलाइन, तब हम यूज करते हैं FTP का पोर्ट. FTP के दो पोर्ट होते हैं, पोर्ट नंबर 20 एंड पोर्ट नंबर 21. पोर्ट नंबर 20 होता है जिससे फाइल ट्रांसफर होती है. पोर्ट नंबर 21 यूज होता है कनेक्शन बनाने के लिए. ओके, अगर आपका FTP पोर्ट ओपन है तो आप कैसे चेक करते हो? दो तीन तरीके होते हैं. सबसे सिंपल तरीका है ये वाला तरीका. आप अपनी वेबसाइट की, आपकी वेबसाइट है https://abc.com. अच्छा, जरूरी नहीं HTTPS हो, HTTP वेबसाइट है तो भी चेक कर सकते हो. तो whatever it is, HTTP or HTTPS does not matter. Simply just change your website to ftp://ftp.abc.com. अगर वो आपको फाइल्स दिखा रहे हैं वहां पे, तो वेबसाइट वल्नरेबल है. उस फाइल्स में देखो क्या क्या डेटा पड़ा है. तो बेसिकली इसका मतलब है उनका पोर्ट ओपन है, FTP पोर्ट, और आप उसके अंदर फाइल्स देख सकते हो, रीड कर सकते हो. अगर वो ओपन नहीं है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. जैसे कि हमने एग्जांपल देखा, पहले इसका पोर्ट ओपन था, यहाँ पे पूरी फाइल्स वगैरह सब दिखा रहा था. अभी इन्होंने पोर्ट नंबर बंद कर दिया, तो इसलिए यहाँ पे वो यूजर आईडी और पासवर्ड मांग रहे हैं. हम यहाँ पे दूसरा तरीका भी यूज कर सकते हैं. बेसिकली इसको बोलते हैं SQL इंजेक्शन. ये काम कर जाए तो भी फाइल्स दिखा देगा, पर लेट्स सी काम करता है नहीं करता, नहीं कर रहा. तो हमने ट्राई किया वहां पे पूरा का पूरा डेटा चेंज करके चेक करने की, बट उन्होंने क्या किया, अपना जो पोर्ट है उसको क्लोज कर दिया और उस पर ऑथेंटिकेशन लगा दी कि इफ यू आर ऑथेंटिकेटेड टू यूज दिस पर्टिकुलर पोर्ट, आप आईडी पासवर्ड दो, आप यूज कर सकते हो. इफ यू आर नॉट अलाउड फॉर यूजिंग एफटीपी सर्विस, यू डोंट हैव आईडी पासवर्ड, यू कैन नॉट यूज. ठीक है, ये होता है हमारा एफटीपी पोर्ट. फाइल ट्रांसफर करने के काम आता है. तो फाइल जब ट्रांसफर होती है तो फाइल सेव भी होती है. फाइल सेव हो रही है तो हमें रीड भी करनी है. रीड करनी है तो हमें एफटीपी पोर्ट चाहिए, ओपन होना चाहिए. राइट, तो हम फिगर आउट करते हैं कि पोर्ट नंबर कौन सा ओपन है, कौन सा क्लोज है, उसके बेसिस पे हम अटैक करते हैं आगे. ठीक है, सर्विस कौन सी रन कर रही है, सर्विस का मोड कौन सा है, सर्विस का वर्जन कौन सा रन हो रहा है, वो सारी चीजें हम देखते हैं. ठीक है अंश, समझ आया?
यस सर.
वेरी नाइस. चलो फिर आता है हमारे पास HTTP और HTTPS. जैसे अभी we just got an explanation what is HTTP. HTTP is hypertext transfer hypertext transfer protocol. HTTPS is hypertext transfer protocol secure. Right, अभी understand this term hypertext. What is hypertext? आपने HTML तो सुना होगा, right? You might have heard of HTML. HTML is, what is the full form of HTML, guys?
Hypertext markup language.
Hypertext markup language. Hypertext. Okay. Understand again. Hypertext. What is hypertext? Hypertext is basically a language, a coding language, which we use for web application purpose. HTTP is hypertext transfer protocol. The protocol which is transferring the hypertext. Okay, the protocol which is transferring the hypertext. So that is what your hypertext transfer protocol is. The protocol which is used to transfer hypertext. So whenever you're talking about websites, web servers, at that point of time we use HTTP or HTTPS to transfer hypertext. Now if you're transferring hypertext which is not secure, we call it HTTP. When you're transferring hypertext which is secure, you call it HTTPS. What is the difference? Difference is of encryption. In HTTP, nothing is encrypted. No data is encrypted. So what can happen? Any data you are transferring, anybody who can read your network, who is basically spying on your network, will be able to read the data. But in HTTPS, it is not the case. If somebody is able to spy the data, if somebody is basically trying to enter into your network and reading the data, that he will not be able to read the data. Why? Because the data is encrypted. Okay, so the person will not be able to read that particular data. That is the main difference between HTTP and HTTP. Clear? बहुत सिंपल है HTTP HTTPS. नहीं आए तो मैं फिर समझा देता हूँ. Anyone?
Clear sir.
Clear? Okay.
Sir, got it.
Got it.
Then we have something we call SSH. Any idea what is SSH? ये बहुत काम आएगा SSH आगे ना फ्यूचर में.
Secure shell.
Secure shell, yeah. Why do we use it? Secure shell.
इस
Kind of tunnel, I guess.
हाँ मतलब टनल ठीक है. So guys, the question is, can we perform man-in-the-middle attack on HTTPS websites? Yes, you can
सर ये
perform it.
सिक्योर करता है हमारे सिक्योर करता है हमारे
SSH. अच्छा मैं बताता हूँ SSH का. So the question is, sir, can we perform man-in-the-middle attack on HTTPS sites? Yes, you can perform man-in-the-middle attack on the network. हम नेटवर्क पे परफॉर्म करते हैं man-in-the-middle attack. हम वेबसाइट पे परफॉर्म नहीं करते. ओके, तो या वेबसाइट पे भी कर सकते हो, बट उसमें आपको रिजल्ट नहीं आएगा man-in-the-middle अटैक करना वेबसाइट के ऊपर. अगर HTTPS वेबसाइट है तो man-in-the-middle अटैक होता कैसे है? इट इज लाइक कि लेट्स से कि आप और मैं सेम इंटरनेट से कनेक्टेड है. ओके, सेम नेटवर्क से कनेक्टेड है. आपने खोली एक वेबसाइट और मैंने यहाँ पे आप पे एक्शन परफॉर्म कर रखा है. इसके लिए काली लिनक्स में कुछ टूल्स होते हैं, हम उनको यूज करते हैं. आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू दैट स्पूफिंग क्लास में. व्हेन वी विल बी लर्निंग अबाउट स्पूफिंग, नो, एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू. स्पूफिंग के टाइम पे मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करूंगा वो कैसे man-in-the-middle अटैक होता है. ओके, तो अगर हम खोलते हैं उसमें HTTPS वेबसाइट तो आपको कोई भी डेटा रिसीव नहीं होगा. लेकिन अगर हम खोलते हैं उस पे HTTP वेबसाइट तो आपको सारा का सारा डेटा रिसीव होगा। I'll show you, I'll teach you that man in the middle attack, don't worry। उसके लिए एक टूल होता है एडर कैप करके, उसको यूज टू स्पूफ इनसाइड अ नेटवर्क। नेटवर्क के अंदर क्या चल रहा है सब कुछ रीड करते हैं उसके लिए। Then we have something we call SSH. SSH is basically secure shell. Secure shell means, let's say I have a server, okay, in my office. I want to get connected to that particular server and I want to use the data from that server. Now, I have to make sure that nobody except few of the people should access that particular data. We have, let's say, 500 people in our organization, but that data I have only kept for 20 people. I don't want, except those 20 people, anybody else should be using that particular services. Now what I'll do, I'll put my ID and password over there. Now ID and password, by chance, somebody is able to crack ID password. The data is not secure again, right? But I have to make sure data should be secure. So in this case, what we do, we use some keys. So what I'll do, I'll generate a key in my system. I'll generate a key in server. I will put some key in server. I'll put the same key in my system. When I'm using the SSH service, when I'm getting connected to the server, if my key is not available with me, I'll not be able to get connected. If I have the key, I will then only. So only this particular system which has the key available, that system will be able to connect. If I'm taking the key, I'm putting into another system, then only I'll be able to use it. Otherwise, I'll not be able to use it. So every person, every 20, if there are 20 people, there will be 20 keys which will be generated. And the person will be given the key. In his system, he'll save that key and he'll use that key whenever he needs to connect to the system. Okay, this is what we call it secure shell. So what will happen? Man in the middle attack is happening, whatever attack is happening, everything is secure. Everything is in encrypted format, everything is secure. Nobody will be able to perform any action or any particular kind of attack on your system. Okay, so if in case you are scanning a server, when we'll be learning that, I'll tell you. You are scanning a server, you found, okay, SSH is running. This runs on port number 22. Port number 22 is open and service is SSH service is running. So we will try to find the key for it. If we get the key, well and good. If we don't get the key, we'll drop it and we'll move forward. Okay. Sometimes we'll try to connect without providing the key, and if we get connected, then there was issue in SSH, maybe the older version is used or some issue while configuring the services and all. Right. So we have to see which port is open, what service is running, can we exploit it. For every particular service, there is a different exploitation for it. I hope you are understanding what exploitation means. Exploitation means you can say hacking directly. Okay, there is other way to hack that particular port. If port number 21 is open, so there is another way. Port number 22 is open, there is another way of hacking. All right. So this thing we will be understanding. So you need to understand what the service is for. All right. Then we have something we call SSL and TLS. Now this I have already explained you in your cryptography class. What is SSL and TLS? I hope you guys are aware of it. Anyone who is not aware of it, किसी को नहीं पता है SSL and TLS services के बारे में? नहीं पता?
नहीं पता सर।
नहीं पता?
No sir, no.
Last class में नहीं थे या मैंने समझाया नहीं? Just trying to figure it out. No problem. I'll explain you. How about others?
Sir, secure socket layer and transfer layer security.
अच्छा एक सेकेंड, लेट मी एक्सप्लेन SSH फर्स्ट, फिर करते हैं, ठीक है. SSH क्या होता है? SSH होता है सिक्योर्ड सॉकेट, सॉरी सिक्योर्ड शेल. सिक्योर्ड शेल में क्या होता है बेसिकली, अब मान लो एक सर्वर है, मेरे ऑफिस में एक सर्वर है, उसके अंदर कुछ डेटा पड़ा है जो मेरे को एक्सेस करना है. कोई लेट्स से मेरे को एक टूल यूज करना है या फिर कोई फाइल रीड करनी है, कुछ भी करना है मेरे को सर्वर. अब मेरे को सर्वर से कनेक्ट होना है ना, तो मेरे को सिक्योरली कनेक्ट होना है. मेरे को नहीं चाहिए कि कोई भी उस पर आके अटैक करके और वो डेटा रीड कर सके या फिर कुछ भी कर सकते उस डेटा के साथ. तो हम यूज करते हैं SSH. इस केस SSH में क्या होता है, हम ना कीज जनरेट करते हैं. जैसे हमने पब्लिक की, प्राइवेट की यूज करी है ना, इसमें हम सीक्रेट की यूज करते हैं. हम इसमें की जनरेट करते हैं. एक की हमारे सिस्टम में होती है, एक की हमारे सर्वर पे होती है. तो वो जो की है ना, वो सिर्फ हमारे लिए है, वो और कोई यूज नहीं करेगा. ठीक है, अब मेरे को चाहिए कि 5 लोग और उसको यूज कर सके उस डेटा को। तो जब 5 लोग उस डेटा को यूज करेंगे तो उनके लिए अलग कीज जनरेट होंगी, विच इज अ सीक्रेट की। नाउ यू गाइज आर अवेयर ऑफ सीक्रेट की कंसेप्ट, सीक्रेट की का कंसेप्ट तो पता ही है आपको, राइट। तो 5 लोगों के लिए अलग अलग सीक्रेट की जनरेट होंगी, तो सबकी अलग अलग सीक्रेट की। तो आपके सिस्टम में एक की होगी, आपके सर्वर के पास एक की है, जैसी वो की मैच करेगी तभी आप कनेक्ट करोगे। अब जैसे आप कनेक्ट करते हो SSH की वजह से आपके पास जो भी डेटा आप ट्रांसफर कर रहे हो वहां से या यहाँ से, सब कुछ टनलिंग के थ्रू जा रहा है। तो आपका डेटा एक तो एनक्रिप्टेड है, तो कोई डेटा भी रीड नहीं कर पाएगा, राइट, कोई अटैक नहीं कर पाएगा। अगर SSH यूज नहीं कर रहे, सिर्फ आईडी पासवर्ड यूज कर रहे हो, तो गलती से भी अगर किसी के हाथ में आईडी पासवर्ड चला गया तो इश्यू है, राइट। तो इसलिए हम यूज करते हैं SSH। तो मान लो आपका SSH पोर्ट ओपन है, ये रन करता है पोर्ट नंबर 22 पे, तो हमें फिगर आउट करना पड़ता है कि हमके कौन कौन से पोर्ट्स ओपन है। अगर आपका पोर्ट नंबर 22 ओपन है तो क्या होगा, आप ट्राई कर सकते हो SSH सर्विस से कनेक्ट करने की या फिर की ढूंढने की। अगर आपको की मिल जाती है, कई बार क्या होता है आप एक की खुद जनरेट करते हो, SSH की खुद जनरेट करते हो अपने सिस्टम के अंदर, आप वो की सर्वर पे अपलोड करते हो, और वो अगर सर्वर पे अपलोड हो जाती है तो आप अपने SSH कनेक्शन उस सर्वर के साथ जनरेट कर सकते हो, आप सर्वर के साथ कनेक्ट कर सकते हो बाय जनरेटिंग योर ओन SSH की एंड अपलोडिंग इन द सर्वर। ठीक है, ये जो है इसके लिए FTP सर्वर ओपन होना चाहिए, बहुत सारी चीजें हमें देखनी पड़ती है, तो ये पॉसिबिलिटी है। तो ये हम चेक करते हैं जब हम टेस्टिंग करते हैं या फिर जब हम हैकिंग करते हैं। ओके, कभी हम हैकिंग करते हैं तो हम देखते हैं कौन कौन से पोर्ट्स ओपन है, उसके बेसिस पे हम आगे एक्शन करते हैं, ऐसे नहीं आंख बंद करके कुछ भी चल रहा है, नहीं। डिसाइड होता है कि कौन सा पोर्ट ओपन है, कौन सी सर्विस रन हो रही है, कौन सा वर्जन है उसका, उसके बेसिस पे अटैक डिसाइड होता है। क्लियर? SSH ये होता है बेसिकली SSH। तो SSH का काम क्या है, एक सिक्योर कनेक्शन बनाना, ठीक। Then we have SSL and TLS. So how do we check which port is open? ये जो सेशन है ना, पूरा का पूरा स्कैनिंग का सेशन है, उसमें हम यही सीखेंगे। एक nmap हमारा टूल होता है, नेटवर्क मैप, उसके थ्रू हम फिगर आउट करते हैं कि कौन से पोर्ट ओपन है, कौन सा पोर्ट क्लोज है। ओके, तो अभी हर स्टेप का ना अलग अलग है। पहले हम नेक्स्ट स्टेप में सीखेंगे कि पोर्ट कौन से ओपन है, क्या से पता चलता है, फिर उसके नेक्स्ट स्टेप में सीखेंगे एक्सप्लॉइट कैसे करते हैं। तो ये स्टेप बाय स्टेप है, सारी चीजें सारी चीजें इंटरकनेक्टेड है। ओके, एक क्लास जो आपने अटेंड करी है वो नेक्स्ट क्लास से इंटरकनेक्टेड है, नेक्स्ट क्लास से इंटरकनेक्टेड है, या फिर हो सकता है फर्स्ट क्लास आपकी लास्ट क्लास से भी इंटरकनेक्टेड हो। तो यू जस्ट हैव टू बी पेशेंस इनफ नेक्स्ट स्टेप पे आने के लिए। ओके, देन वी हैव समथिंग वी कॉल SSL and TLS. Any idea what is SSL and TLS? Somebody was telling me, I interrupted you. I'm so sorry.
Sir, it's a secure socket layer and transport layer security.
Okay. So what does it do? SSL and TLS, what does they do for you?
They provide the security certificates, I guess. Yes,
Okay.
To the previous class we have studied, because whenever we browse the website, like or using a browser, we open a website, so it checks that whether they have a secure socket SSL and TLS certificate with them or not. Just when they only have that certificate, then only we say that we got that log onto that website. That means the connection is secure.
All right, correct. So basically SSL and TLS, what does they do? First of all, this you see HTTPS website, right? How do you get this HTTPS website? When you buy a certificate, there is a certificate, SSL and TLS certificate. Okay, before it was SSL TLS 1.2, now it's in the market 1.3. Okay, how do you figure that out, or how do you check it? So let's say Mailwala. No, not Mailwala. Let's open any other website. Let's say google.com. Now you see this lock. This lock means that your website is authentic and your website is secure. When I am writing over here google.com, how I am sure that this is google.com only? Why can't it be any fake website? Okay, if I am opening, let's say any website, let's say twitter.com. I'm opening twitter.com. How much % you are sure that this is original twitter.com, this is not a fake twitter.com? How you are sure about it? Because we are sure about it because this has a lock over here. This lock means connection is secure. this is an authentic website. How you are sure? Because this lock is there. This lock means you have SSL and TLS certificate. Okay, this is how you are sure 100% that this is a correct website. How you are sure about this one that this is the correct website? First of all, whenever you open any website, your browser goes to the server. Let's say you are opening google.com. So your browser is going to the server and your browser is saying, Google, my boss is calling you. Come, he needs to talk to you. So Google is like, okay, I'll come, no issues. So Google says, okay, I'm coming. Then Google says, hold a second. I am HTTPS website, right? So we can see it is HTTPS website. Let's say Twitter or Google, whatever it is, HTTPS website. Why it is HTTPS? Because we have a certificate. It is, I'm an HTTPS website. So I will come, if you open port number 443 for me. Okay, so HTTPS runs on port number 44. As I told you, HTTP runs on port number 80. So port numbers are being defined. So SSL certificate, and so basically HTTPS runs on port number 443. So it's like open port number 443 for me. It's like, okay, I'll do that for you. It opens it. Now, when the google.com is coming, your browser is like, okay, wait a second. I don't trust you whether you're Google or not, right? कैसे किसी पे trust किया जाए आजकल? So Google is like, okay, let's do one thing. I have the public key and private key available. Now, the public key and private key is being given by this particular SSL and TLS. So there are certifying authorities. Okay. These certifying authorities, they have your public key and private key. So you have your private key, they have your public key available on the server. And anybody can access those public keys. You want to access public key of the google.com, you can access public key of google.com. Okay. You want to access public key, you can access public key. You want to look for the public key of any website which is HTTPS website, you can look for that particular public key of that website. Yes, few simple commands, you will be able to do that. Now these certifying authorities have your public key. Now browser is like key, Google is like key, you can take the public key from certifying authorities, encrypt the data, send it to me, I will decrypt it using my private key. Got this point? They will take the public key, encrypt the data, give it to the Google. Google will decrypt it. Why Google will be able to decrypt it? Because Google has the private key. समझ आया इतना? इतना समझ आया तो आगे का फिर सब क्लियर हो जाएगा. अगर ये समझ नहीं आया तो I'll explain you again.
Could you repeat it again?
ठीक है. तो browser. So this is your browser. So basically you can call it a client also. Okay, and this is your server. Now browser is asking your google.com, I don't trust you, prove me your google.com. Let's say Google. Okay, Google says that I have the public key. Okay, I have the private key. Now you take my public key, encrypt the data. So let's say he wrote hello and he converted hello into something, let's say 123. Because encryption happened. So encryption is 123. He will send this 123 to public key to basically Google. Google will use its public key and decrypt this 123 as hello. And it will say your data you sent is hello. So this way your browser will be able to have a confidence. Okay, this is the correct because he knows what is the private key. So he will be able to decrypt the data. अभी समझ आया? तो देखो हुआ क्या? आपके ब्राउजर ने बोला गूगल को कि मेरे को तेरे पे भरोसा नहीं है भाई, तू गूगल है, मैं कैसे मान लूं तू गूगल है? तो गूगल कहता है कि देख ब्रो, मेरी पब्लिक की और प्राइवेट की अवेलेबल है, ठीक है, सर्टिफाइंग अथॉरिटीज के पास. तू क्या कर, तू मेरी पब्लिक की उठा, डेटा को एनक्रिप्ट कर. आप डेटा को एनक्रिप्ट कर सकते हो पब्लिक की के थ्रू. डेटा को एनक्रिप्ट कर, मेरे को सेंड कर. मैं अपनी प्राइवेट की यूज करके उस डेटा को डिक्रिप्ट करूंगा. तो मैं कर सकता हूँ ना उस डेटा को डिक्रिप्ट, और मैं तेरे को डिक्रिप्ट वैल्यू सेंड करूंगा. तो तूने एनक्रिप्ट किया है ना, तेरे को पता है क्या वैल्यू है. तो जो डिक्रिप्टेड वैल्यू अगर मैच करती है तो मैं सही हूँ, नहीं तो मैं गलत हूँ. समझ आया अभी सिनेरियो?
यस सर.
इसको हम डिजिटल सिग्नेचर्स भी बोल सकते हैं. ओके, जैसे ही वैल्यू मैच होती है वो कहता है ठीक है ब्रो, तू एकदम सही है, तू गूगल ही आ जा. अभी गूगल इज लाइक कि वेट अ सेकंड, आई डोंट ट्रस्ट यू वेदर यू आर द करेक्ट ब्राउजर और नॉट. I don't trust you. I only go to the authenticated browser. I don't go to any random browser. So same process Google happens with the browser also. So browser also have public key and private key because browser also have certifying authorities. So browser also performs the same activity, takes the data, public key, private key, exchange the data, happens, and then you are able to open google.com on your system. इतना कुछ चल रहा है बैकग्राउंड में. Alright, तब जाके आपके पास google.com खुल रहा है. आपने यहाँ लिखा google.com, आपने enter मारा, यहाँ google.com आ गया basically. So you wrote google.com, you hit enter, and you can see google.com on your screen. But in the background, this is the full process which happens. Okay, this is so much fast. This much fast that it takes within few seconds. Now, sometimes it happens. You are getting some error over here, likewise certification error or few errors like that. Your website is not secure, all those things. At that point of time, there is a possibility the man in the middle attack is happening. So you write google.com over here. Okay. Now you get an error that basically an error related to the certificate. Okay. At that point of time, be careful about it. There is a possibility a hacker is trying to manipulate the domain name. We call it DNS spoofing. So what hacker is trying to do? Hacker says that whenever you are opening this website, which is google.com, it should not open google.com for you. It should open, let's say, facebook.com or any website which hacker have posted on. Okay, instead of google.com, it should open any other website. So you will be opening that website, but you will get an error over here related to the certificate, because you are typing google.com. So at that point of time, you will get an error, and then be careful about that point of time. So this thing we will understand in your spoofing part. Don't worry, how to perform this DNS spoofing and ARP spoofing. Okay, understood SSL and TLS certificate. So it makes sure that whatever website you are opening is an authenticated website. Secondly, whatever you are transferring the data, that is encrypted. Clear this much? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear.
Great.
So what I presume here is TLS 1.3 is the more secure version, and we can say certainly it is the higher versions of SSL only.
Yeah, it's been an year, I suppose, now that 1.3 has came into the market, but it does not mean that if any website is using 1.2, it's vulnerable. No, it's just they made some changes. They have to come up with a new thing, because they were like, it's like the scenarios. No, it was 2-3 years that 1.2 was in the market. There was no issue in 1.2, but they still updated it to 1.3. So if even any particular company is using 1.2 also, no issues. But if the company is using 1.1, then it is a vulnerability. Then you can perform some kind of attacks over there. But generally, if you will see on the websites, nobody is using 1.1. Everybody is using 1.2 now. Either 1.2 or 1.3. Okay. Then we have something we call it TCP and UDP. ये भी अच्छे से understand कर लो. Listen or understand this one very carefully, because so many areas you will be using. You will be coming up with TCP or UDP. What we have to use? We have to use TCP protocol, or we have to use UDP protocol. All those things. Now, any idea what is TCP and UDP protocol?
Transfer control protocol.
Okay, and
User datagram
protocol. What are these protocols actually do? अब बताओ ना.
वैसे कोई आइडिया, सिर्फ नाम बता.
अच्छा, बस नाम पता है. ठीक है. No issues. I'll tell you.
UDP is basically the main difference seems to be UDP is connectionless and TCP is connection oriented. So I think that's the main difference here.
That's the main difference. Yes. So basically, first let me explain you in a very layman language. You will understand this example very well. Have you ever been to US? Any one of you? कोई USA गया कभी? चलो. So basically, now the thing is that in US, no, the way of delivery is different from India. Now let's say you order anything from Amazon. Okay. In India, Amazon, how it delivers according to TCP protocol. Okay. In US, it delivers as UDP protocol. How? In US, if you are ordering anything, it's a UDP protocol which they are following. What they will do, they will come to your house. They'll come outside your home. They will send you the timing. Okay, that I'll come at 5 o'clock. I'll deliver the product. That's all. This date, this time, I'll come. I'll drop the box and I'll leave. That's all. It's raining. It's sunshine outside. It's coronavirus going on. Whatever it's going on, they will come outside your house. They'll deliver the box and they'll go. They'll not ring the bell whether you are at home or not. They does not care. They'll come. They'll deliver the box and they'll go. Okay. In TCP in India, what happens in Amazon? They'll call you. Sir, are you at home? Are you in the office? Are you at the given address? You will say yes. Okay, sir, I'm coming to deliver the product. They'll come. You will go. You will receive the product. You will take the signatures, right? And done. Delivery is done. So TCP, it makes sure basically in India, it makes sure that the product is delivered to the correct person and concerned person. Right, and there are signatures also taken that yes, you have delivered the product properly. But over here, there is no surety whether you are receiving the box, you are receiving your product, not receiving does not matter. You kept the product there, your job is done. This is basically TCP. So when you're downloading any data, when you're looking for some data, in that point of time, it depends the way you are getting it. Okay, you are receiving the signals. You're receiving the data according to TCP or you're receiving the data according to UDP. So when we perform video calls, Zoom call is going on right now. According to you, which particular protocol we are using, TCP or UDP?
TCP.
TCP.
I guess TCP.
No, we are using UDP. Why we are using UDP over here? Dekho. Now TCP is connection oriented. Why we call it connection oriented? So first it is going to send a packet. Okay. When the packet is sent, it basically makes sure that packet is received on the other end or not. If the packet is received on the other end, then it is going to basically notify the other party that they have received the packet. Now you can send another packet. If the first packet is not received, then it is going to wait until and unless connection is properly set up. It is not going to move next. But in UDP, it does not care about the connection. Do we on the Zoom care about the connection? You have low connection, you got disconnected to the network, whatever happened, whatever I am speaking, it is delivering at your part. Whatever you are speaking, it is delivering at my part. Connection is fine, good, bad, you are connected, not connected, does not matter. You call video call to your brother, girlfriend, anyone. Sometimes it gets blurred. You keep on speaking, that person is receiving what you are speaking or not, it does not matter. The connection is there, it's blur, it's bad, it's good, it does not matter. So over here, it does not matter. He will keep the box outside your house and gone. Same way, it will basically, you keep the delivered, the data is delivered over there or not, they are receiving the data or not, does not matter. Right, that is what we call UDP. You watch a match online, you watch a match, live match. What happens in the live match? Whatever they are sending, you see the match, you don't see the match, their part is to basically send the packets. If you want to see, tune on to the particular channel, you will be able to see. If you don't want to see, don't tune. My job is to send it. But if you want to download any file, the file is there, but you need a connection, TCP connection for it. So first packet will download. If the proper packets are not downloaded, then it has to wait. That did you receive one particular packet? Yes, let me send another packet now. So basically 100 packets each. Remember? So if you, first of all, you have to receive this packet. If you're not receiving this packet, next packet will not be transferred to you because we have to wait. So same way, when Amazon is delivering in India, they have to make sure that you are available, then only they are sending you the packets.
Can we say, sorry, but can we say Netflix and the YouTube is using TCP or UDP? Is it? I believe it is TCP. Oh, because
when
Netflix, when we are using,
when you are downloading, at that point of time, we are using TCP.
Okay.
When you're downloading, in Netflix
means,
also you downloaded one particular file. Let's say you downloaded YouTube. You are watching YouTube. Okay. On YouTube, whenever you are performing any activity on YouTube, you are basically receiving the signals, right? If your internet is fine, it is sending you the signals. Internet is not fine, you're not receiving the signals. Let's say this video, if you watch this video, now you sit over here, don't sit over here, your network is fine, it is going to send you the video. It is already available. But when you download the video,
No,
at that point of time, it has to make sure.
Sorry, I have a question. The reason I'm asking is the Netflix or YouTube, sometimes if you remember, the buffering when it happens, it starts from the same point where you left it last time. Consider a
Live
point
match
for
also happens
Netflix.
the same thing.
Live match, okay. But Netflix is something I believe, not sure. But again, when you leave the content from there, it starts from there itself. So I believe it does care about, where you left or something. It does make sure that you
No.
receive the
I'm
packets.
not
I'm
saying.
not sure about it.
Yeah, maybe they might
Just,
be
just,
using.
just a thought. I mean, I'm just
No.
thinking.
The thing is that I'm not saying they cannot use TCP. They can use TCP. It's on them what they want to use. There is a
Mhm.
possibility they might be using TCP, but generally, like if you talk about YouTube, they are using UDP. I'm aware
Okay.
of YouTube. I'm not aware of Netflix. I told Netflix they are using UDP because YouTube itself is using UDP, so they might be also using the TCP. Oh, sorry, UDP. But as you told that from where you left, it starts from there. So there is also a possibility they might be using TCP. So totally like find whichever network they want to use, whichever protocol they want to use, but understand the difference between and all those things. Right.
Yeah.
So main agenda is to know what kind of TCP is, what is UDP is. That if you have understood, then we can figure it out. What Netflix is using. फिर तो हमें थोड़ा research करना है बस छोटा सा वो we'll figure it out what they are using and how they are using. Sometimes
Is
for
there a
some things they are using UDP, for sometimes they might use TCP. Totally depends.
is there a difference between the method of file transfer in both TCP and UDP?
Yeah, that is the main difference only. That is what the difference is about. File transfer is the main difference. No, TCP, it makes sure that you are there, right? When you download any particular file online or online only, when you download any particular file, if your internet connection is fine, then only you will be able to download it, right? But in UDP, whether you are there or not, they are sending the signals by default. You are getting the signals, you want it, you take it, you don't want it, don't take it. It is like that. So basically we call it TCP is a connection oriented. Connection oriented means that whenever any particular data is transferred, first it is going to make a connection, then the data is going to transfer. So in TCP, first connection is made.
So then which one would be like would be considered as the more efficient protocol?
Which one is, sorry?
Which one would be considered as the more efficient protocol?
If you call about
Like UDP
efficient,
is faster,
obviously TCP is
obviously,
efficient because first connection is made, then the data is transferred. Okay, in UDP, there is no connection made.
I think there also arises a question, Kunal sir, about the speed when he talks about the
Speed
efficiency.
UDP is much faster than TCP.
Much faster, right?
Yeah.
So,
But it is not the case that TCP is not faster. TCP is also faster, but if you compare, UDP is more faster. Okay.
can we say that TCP is more secure than UDP? I mean, just.
You cannot say secure, but security is not an issue over here. The issue is about the connection.
Okay.
Security is not a concern over here. I hope you guys are clear with TCP.
I think UDP is like more secure, like because it works on.
अच्छा ठीक है मैं आपको एक और example देता हूँ. One more example I'll give you. Let's say I want to perform a DOS attack. Now what is DOS attack? DOS attack is if I want to bring a website down. All right. Now if I want to bring a website down, I'll perform DOS attack. I don't want that website to run. So I'll perform DOS attack on it. In DOS attack, what we do, we can send both the signals. We can use TCP also and we can use UDP also. Now, if I have to make sure that come what may, I want this website down. So I will use TCP to make sure that. Why? Because first I will send the packet. I will make sure that my connection is there. Then only the website will be down. No, if my connection is not there, how will I be able to make the website down? Okay, if I have to like 100% sure, I'll send TCP. But I am not like, I'm like, okay, let me try whether it will be down or not. I'll use UDP. Whether it makes the connection or not, I'll keep on sending the signals. At any point of time, if by default connection is made or something happens, UDP signals are going on. At any point of time, I'm not stopping my signals. I'll keep that particular server busy. So at that point of time, you can also use UDP. If you want to make it fast, you don't worry about connection is created or not, nothing. Was attack going to happen or not? Don't worry about it. So at that point of time, you use UDP. When you're not worried that particular file is transferred properly to the other end or not, you use UDP. When you are worried about it, you have to make sure that the file should be transferred properly onto the other end. At that point of time, you use TCP. You can say this also. Acha, worried मैं बोल रहा हूँ, but that does not mean you are actually worried or not. Okay. So these are the scenarios I'm just talking about. So I'll repeat the same thing in Hindi. तो देखो TCP और UDP क्या होता है? TCP होता है basically जो TCP कनेक्शन होता है ना, फाइल ट्रांसफर करनी होती है, पैकेज ट्रांसफर करना होता है, तो वो मेक श्योर करता है कि आप ना अवेलेबल हो, आप इंटरनेट से कनेक्टेड हो, तभी ट्रांसफर होगा। अगर मान लो आप एक फाइल डाउनलोड कर रहे हो, 5 GB की फाइल है, 5 GB की फाइल है, और बीच में कनेक्शन टूट गया 2 GB के बाद, तो वो फाइल डाउनलोड होना बंद हो जाएगी, क्योंकि हम कनेक्टेड ही नहीं हो, राइट। लेकिन यहीं पे आप एक लाइव मैच देख रहे थे अपने हॉटस्टार पे, आपका लाइव मैच चल रहा था और बीच में आपका इंटरनेट चला गया। अब जब आप लाइव मैच स्टार्ट करते हो दोबारा से कनेक्शन आने के बाद, तो वहीं से स्टार्ट नहीं होता, वो कहाँ से स्टार्ट होता है, वो थोड़ा आगे से स्टार्ट होता है, जहां पे मैच चल रहा है, राइट। इसको पर्टिकुलर इस कनेक्शन को हम बोलते हैं यूडीपी, क्योंकि उसने वरी नहीं किया ना, ही इज नॉट वरीड अबाउट वेदर यू आर रिसीविंग द सिग्नल्स और नॉट। आपके पास सिग्नल आ रहे हैं नहीं आ रहे, वो सिग्नल वहां से अपना भेज रहा है। सेम वे आप वीडियो कॉल करते हो, सामने वाले को आपकी बात सुनाई दी नहीं दी, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, लेकिन उसने सिग्नल तो भेजे अपनी तरफ से, आपके सिग्नल वीक थे, उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ा। तो बेसिकली अमेज़न आया, बॉक्स तो रख गया, आप घर पे नहीं थे, उसकी क्या गलती है, कोई और उठा के ले गया, या फिर वो खराब हो गया, वहां बड़े बड़े सड़ गया, बारिश आ गई, जो भी हुआ, राइट। सो दे आर नॉट वरीड अबाउट इट। इन टीसीपी दे आर वरीड अबाउट इट। वरीड मींस बेसिकली कनेक्शन इज बीन क्रिएटेड, ओवर हियर इन यूडीपी कनेक्शन इज नॉट क्रिएटेड। ठीक है, इतना मत कंफ्यूज हो चीजों के बारे में, डोंट, बेसिक ही सीखना है बस। थोड़ा जब इसको थोड़ा इंप्लीमेंट करोगे तो हो सकता है थोड़ा अच्छे से समझ आ जाए तब। ओके, कंफ्यूज मत हो ज्यादा, सिंपल बस इतना समझ लो अभी के लिए, इतना जान लो कि टीसीपी जो है वो कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेड है, पहले कनेक्शन बनाता है फिर ट्रांसफर होते हैं डाटा। यूडीपी में कनेक्शन बने ना बने, डेटा तो ट्रांसफर होगा, आप रिसीव करो ना करो, हमारी तरफ से डेटा भेज रहे हैं हम, तो आप इस चैनल पे ट्यून इन करके डेटा रिसीव करना है तो कर लो, नहीं करना तो मत करो, कुछ भी गड़बड़ आपके एंड से हम जिम्मेवार नहीं है। दैट इज बेसिकली यूडीपी। I hope I am clear till some extent. Things are clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so guys, can we take a break for 15 minutes and then we start this class session again?
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Okay, sir.
So we'll take a 15-minute break. It's 4:35. We'll start exactly at what time? 4:50.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.